welcome to the Close Show. Let's see how markets are doing at the moment. S&P 500 battling to get back to break even. The NQ already there, up 0.12. The Dow still lagging down a quarter of a point, flat on the TSX. Down in Brazil and down again in crude, down a percentage and a half. Bitcoin and Ethereum continuing to suffer as Bitcoin is now below 30,000. Ethereum now down 5.48% on the day. After last week's Shanghai update, not been a good week for it. Let's see what the sector performance is. Information technology being brought down by the CDW double downgrade. HP, Juniper Networks, Cisco down as well. Being buoyed by healthcare, though, Intuitive Surgical up. Abbott also up, reporting earlier on the day. Good earnings. Their financials, the regionals are killing it. Look how green that is. FRC up 10.5 points. Zion reported this morning as well, 5.61 to the high side. M&T Bank, that reported yesterday. PCW as well on there. And then Amazon up. We'll talk about that on the rundown, up 2.33%. Some of these transportation technology sector areas also up, being buoyed by UAL. They had a really good report this morning showing increased demand. So we shall see what goes on in the afternoon. We have Trade of the Day coming up shortly, but let's see what else is popping off at the moment. Let's move back here. This was earlier, I reported on this Snap actually reporting that they now have over 3 million paying subscribers for their platform, and Verizon looking to incorporate Snap Plus into their Plus service. So keeping an eye on that, giving back some of the gains now, only up 1.5%. But Sean is at the big board, and he's got your trade of the day.
Hey guys, today's Trader of the Day brought to you by the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan. But you have to make sure that you can scan. This is from Fahad, guys, so this is what he told me. You have to scan the QR code below and join Day Trade the World and start your prop, firm, and floor, and trading today, whatever way you want to go. Look, Netflix today. Look at this move down here. Huge move down yesterday as, you know, gets digested there. They miss on the subs, but they explain why. Big move to the downside right there, and a nice recovery back up. When we came in today, Netflix was trying to flirt with actually going back to positive. I mean, right there, you did have a couple ticks that ticked a little bit higher there in the pre-market up to that 330 level, and then since then, it's been a downside move. But what we wanted to look at with Netflix, and I put it as the #1 name on the sticky note, and it's a monster move today, man. We waited for some kind of a bottom to be made, and when it was made, we wanted to go long on that name, and we actually reap the benefits of this. $4 to $5 winner here on Netflix. Let's explain. I'll move over to this side quickly. You can see Netflix doing a lot of volume today, 17, almost 18 million shares. So on earnings, that's as expected. So this is what happens. We let it flush all the way down. We actually don't start to get long till about 10 o'clock. So we let it flush all the way, comes back in, makes that bottom wick right there. We're always looking for bottom wicks with volume. So of course on earnings, you're going to get that. Big, huge move to the downside. Then it comes back. We don't worry about that being the bottom because I don't know if that is going to be the bottom. But we've been looking sort of at this 320 level, which goes back to yesterday when they reported and bounced around a little bit, tried to find some support. So it comes back in, and actually our first take is a break of 320. That turns out to be wrong, and we have to average it in. So we actually have 3 fills all the way back down, 1950, then 19 even. And we were going to use these little wicks down here, getting out near this 318 area. And again, we were looking to average, and by the time we had it, our average price was 319.78. I was using 318.50. It just looks a little bit messy in here, but that's 318.50. There was some bottom wicks right there that we could grab about 318.50. So we actually do have a fill around that price. So now that I look at this, it must have been a little bit lower than 319, but these are dollars. So I should have maybe zoomed the chart out. But then it bounces back up. We start taking some out at 320, 320.50. So at this point, we're making $1. Remember, our risk is $1.50, 60 to the downside. Bumps back up. There's a 321.50. Then it really starts to go, and we're like, yes, you get candle. These are all minute charts. You get 4 or 5 straight candles, maybe even more than that to the upside. And you can see, followed with a little bit of volume down here as well. Nice upside move. But then it just keeps bouncing off the 200 period, which is a problem because I'm noticing right here in the pre-market just before the stock opened, we started having some problems breaking 324. So we get out the first piece there at 324. Remember, that's a $5 winner. So we're pretty happy with this move on the upside. Our downside move is about $1.50, so to take 5 is a good ratio there, 3-1. Then we're noticing that it's not breaking again, so we actually put a stop order to get out at 324.50 because it's bouncing off 325 there and not going up. And I said, if it keeps on doing this, then I'm going to get out. I don't want to hold in case it goes all the way back down. No, we don't want to do that. So let's get another piece out. Now at this point, we have about 20% left, and it's starting to kind of barcode up here around 323. Well, this is where I just said, you know what? I'm not going to let this drop all the way back down because it actually breaks 320 and goes right back into 319 again. We probably would have got out there. Instead, we're using this kind of a bottom right there. We kept on testing. It's 321.50, and then we get out of the rest. And we sort of left it as it is right now. Netflix, if you're going to use that bottom, I really like that at 318 again, but it's your trade of the day, off earnings, and this is the difference. Yesterday on J&J, I was in on the pre-market, but then it flushed down. We got long 164. It actually touched 160 or close enough to it. So we take a huge hit yesterday, but we make it back today, and the key really is just to be patient. So I think that's what we're going to do heading into earnings season. Wait for the flush, wait for the aggressive move, and then jump in whichever way you favor. So Netflix today could have been a short. You could have shorted it up here at 324. It would have been a great trade as well. Or we got patient with the long. And I think it's almost time to reload it. Let's check out what the futures are doing when we get back to our desk. It's your trade of the day.
All right, guys, there is the QR code to the watch list. Scan that and have it sent to your inbox every single morning. It gets in there bright and early and helps you direct your day and know what's moving. So let's quickly get to some developments here before we start our rundown. The Fed's beige book is out. That's basically their commentary on the state of the economy. It makes several different comments. We can look at some of them here. Consumer prices generally increased due to still elevated demand. Just one of many different things that are coming in with respect to overall economic activity was little changed in recent weeks. Overall price levels rose moderately during reporting period. I'll look through these later, but we got a spike there right at 2 o'clock, the algo spike that responded to that development. So, yeah, just wanted to let you know that Fed's beige book is out. But let's get now into the rundown. Amazon, boy, oh boy, is this moving up. It catches a nice reiteration of a market outperformed by JPM. So respected is their opinion that it causes the stock to outperform today. It is up 2.5 points on the day, guys. Amazon looking real good.
Strong move there. Just a couple of things. One, when beige book hit, that was a candle up there as we just wicked the high. I looked at 1 million stocks, and by 1 million I mean like the 4 that I'm watching up here, and it was just the same thing. We ran resistance, which is yesterday we were sitting here all afternoon, pretty much all day long at 13.2. And they finally broke it out with some actual volume. And then 2 o'clock hits, and then it slammed back to the downside. Man, I was just watching NVIDIA, and this is what NVIDIA just looked like. NVIDIA was kind of cruising, bouncing off 278, like every single time for 2 hours, bouncing off 278. It wicked the high by maybe a few cents, 2-3 cents. And then we were immediately retesting 278, now breaking down. So I'll say that was pretty disgusting, and I'm going to address what everyone's saying in the chat. It is absolutely true. I know you could hear the greatest of all time argument in the midday show that was going on, LeBron, all the kind of nonsense. It happens on the trading floor. Just keep in mind, usually those mics aren't going to pick us up in a situation like that, but Max and Obi, they have the gains higher on it. So that's why you can hear the background. There's always background noise on the floor, but sometimes it gets heated. So I know if you guys couldn't hear, that's on us. I'll apologize for that all day long. Got no issues saying that. But if they rug it in the market, I'm all short at this point. Any long I had is long gone at this point. So I'm kind of hoping we come to the downside. I didn't trade Amazon, but it's hard to look at the failure. I don't want to call it a failure, but double top 105 just now on Amazon. One of the strongest names, if not this, my daily's messed up, that sucks. One of the strongest names all day long. You can see how strong it's been, but a double top wick 105. It's hard to want any longs up here unless the futures regain the highs. Like, that's a big time momentum drop, and I would have to think from a risk to reward standpoint, unless you get a really good dip into maybe 104 VWAP, you can get some longs. I got to be thinking short off top of just about everything is the setup, with the exception of the fact I'm already short, so I don't even know if I want to put that on because 5 shorts is probably a little bit too much. Although Bed Bath & Beyond, I guess, doesn't count.
Yeah, and I already put that in the chat there. Actually, I've already messaged Max and Obi. I didn't even realize that it was that loud. You know, it's just obviously everybody in the chat is saying whoever argued for LeBron has no idea. But all right, so we'll just go right there. But yeah, I do apologize 100% for that. And we, definitely not professional there. And I telling that to Obi and Max right now as we speak. So we definitely apologize for that one. And I just want them to tell us to shut up. Like I wasn't even looking at the chat.
Oh, I didn't know.
I had zero idea, so apologize for that. Okay, we're now one time for Amazon. We talked about Amazon earlier on in the day, and the thing is like we recognized that it was strong. You could recognize that right off the jump. I mean, it just started to go like really aggressively, but it does pull back, and then that was it, man. It was see you later after that. We took out that 200 period, came back into the 200 period, then just started to go all the way back up to the upside one more time again, and we finally shorted it. So I don't have any trades on at all until finally now. I feel like this 105 is actually a top for some reason because you basically topped out there at 104.85. Then you pull back down into 104.30. So that's 50 cents. But then the market takes off, and then we retake that high right there. But we don't really retake it with like crazy vigor or anything. It gets taken, it goes up there. So this gets broken at 85. Then it makes a 98, so I guess 105 top, pulls back 30 cents. Then goes right back to that very top again, pulls back another 30 cents, back up again. So right now, we're getting out of this. I mean, we've just averaged it into the short. But it's going to be a good trade, man. I'm really happy with the way this is paired out. And if you're going to scan through, I mean, up 2.5%, Amazon can go a lot more than this. So let's be very, very careful on what we're doing. We're already out of half of our trade right now. And if you're going to look at a 20-minute chart, I mean, it's gone right now. So it broke that 104. And this is what I mean when we talked about it earlier. I was like, well, if Amazon could get to, someone asked right when we were about to leave, it was 10:50. And they said, well, what about Amazon? And I think it was Ponzi Fonzie actually. And I said, well, we have to take that 104. And the minute that did that, then you could see it was all the way up to the upside there. So I just want to, also thank Arun was talking about, even those stocks, they might look like they're extended out there, which I guess it was the 20-minute there. They do look like they're extended, and maybe this would be a short. But when you get aggressive moves, it's better and safer just to play the long and then get out on pullbacks like 20, 30, 40 cents, whatever the range has been on pullbacks. So I actually really like that break long there at 104. Fortunately, wasn't paying attention, happened in the middle of lunch. So we'll take that, and we'll just go short now against it. So now we're short against 105. I think there's pullback opportunity. The NASDAQ just went positive a while ago, but it's just still there now. So what about if we break, right? We're now under 13.2. We could break lower. And what a great move up it's been for the NASDAQ once again when there's a lot of big dogs on deck. Man, you got Tesla tonight, and then followed by in the next week, you're going to have all the big guys come through. And I really like it. I mean, the action that's been happening here, any sort of dip down, you do have nice opportunities to wait for longs and then take them. Amazon was just another example today. Although right now I'm short Amazon and short Coinbase. We have Coinbase on there? No, we'll get to that after.
We talk crypto usually. Oh, no, he took it
up. Moving to Tesla here, small cap crapper alert, PTPI, moving to the high side, up 28 1/3%. This is a multiple day runner. Have a look at the chart over here if I can just maximize this. Multiple day runner. I think this is like the 5th day in a row. Looks really good. Right now, the volume coming in at around 115 on the midday show, but the daily, ooh, look at this. Okay, so wakes up here, and this is day number 5. All right, Netflix, it's been down into the right most of the morning, guys. The recovery that we made after market largely sold off. We are at a critical level now, that 320 level. This is the close of the 50-minute candles on the spike down yesterday. We're right back there, and we're right where we were, right at 9:30 a.m., 320, an interesting level. Stay tuned, though. At 3:05, we're going to have Danielle Shea on. She's going to be talking a lot about Netflix, so if you're into this, stay tuned until then.
So, I mean, obviously Sean just went over a little bit, but I had one trade in and out on Netflix, but it's not, It's not that I'm upset about, because the first thing I looked at after market when it was dumping was I zoomed out on the daily. Where's my 200? How far do I have to go back before the 200 period? Now my 200 is not loading. Okay, so whatever. The 200 period moving average, I know the chart, it's at 280. So you can pull it up. Trust me, when you pull it up, the 200 period is at that 280 level. I thought if we actually had any redonkulous sell-off, that was going to be an easy long if it overextended to the downside. Just kind of thinking about the last 35% down day and what I would do if it did anything approximating that this time. It doesn't matter. It didn't happen, but the 50 period was at 329. And the first thing I did when I sat down was tell myself, play the over-under game on earnings at that 329 price. But that's not what I did. You actually had previous support. I ended up looking for a dip buy. I know 320 was a good level, so I tried playing off of that. And if I was looking at a 3-minute chart, that's how you get that stop out, which is fine because I was playing a scalp trade. Off the 15-minute, it was probably good. However, the original, when I sat down and then altered my plan to go dip buying, was look for shorts underneath that 50 period. If it recovers and doesn't get back there, I could have found my way to being short. So that's one thing I want to look at. If I identify a level that's the most important, then I don't want to be thinking about first trade off something other than that. Like, try to key toward that bigger level. So once the 200 period was gone, I should have been laser focused on the other. That's just me for Netflix. I don't even have a trade for Netflix right now, except if it were to flat bottom break, you could see like there's a bit of it's not really a gap fill. I don't think you can call it a gap fill if it takes out the low right now, just because it was just crazy wicks on earnings. But it is trending to the downside, down 4%. If it does trend for the next few days and weeks, I still think that 280 is going to be a nice little bounce zone. But yeah, missed opportunity to have at least thought about the short. But I don't mind getting stopped out on the long in here because, quite frankly, I kind of had my stop in. I just left it. I gave it like a buck and change, or maybe $1.50 at that time with some slippage, and that was it for me on Netflix. But there was a short in there. If I'm really honest with myself, there was a short in there. Given that I was looking shorts for the majority of the morning and picking weak names to go short today's market, I should have had Netflix, 100%.
All right. Netflix, yeah, we already talked about Netflix. I really like that stock. I mean, it was the trade of the day for a reason. It's the #1 stock. I'm trying to make some money on Amazon here. Maybe that can go into #1 status. And Apple, we're still $1.70 in the money on Apple, and we'll get to that. Maybe never, according to that list. But Apple right now, good move. But there's Netflix. Neil's already talked about it. I like all those levels that's coming into play. I'm a buyer definitely at 280. I think Netflix wins. I think their next quarter is going to be an absolute monster, especially after. Well, I mean, I don't know when they're going to roll out the ads for the ad tier for the U.S. because they did talk about delaying that. And if I missed that in the call, let us know.
I thought it was till just one more quarter. I think,
yeah, okay. So,
but I don't know if they definitively said that.
To see. All right, so anyways, that's what it is. I like Netflix today. I think the move might be done, though. It's nice to take it early. And I'm actually looking to see if we break this, man, 317 to the downside. That could come into play, and then I think it's floodgates open. So I'm going to wait for the short now at 317, but, the downward move is definitely here, and it looks like it's going to continue. So I would watch out for this Netflix move. It was just down 420. There it is right there. Maybe this is a key, as 420 is tomorrow. 318.25 coming through right there, and then you have a drop down of 316.50 right now as well. So I'd be very, very careful here. I think Netflix, a little bit weak hands, probably let it go, but I feel like it's going to hit that 317 at some point today. Then we got a decision to make whether or not you want to protect that long or wait for it to break and go short. So for me, I'm biased short right now. We're short Coinbase and we're short Amazon. So, on our Apple long, like I said, we're just letting that go. That's only a 10% left on it. But so far, so good. Yeah, FRC. People want to, we've gone to the regionals. Yeah,
we're still going.
We don't even have the regionals on there. So let's go to FRC real quick here and have a look. Look at this boom right here. I mean, I don't even know if we had the story or not on this, but it's a huge move up to the upside right now for FRC. And I said this earlier. Remember I said in the morning show, I was like, is FRC like a buyout or something? Because it's just moving like that. And we thought on Western Alliance with their move upside today that FRC needed to have one, right? But all of a sudden at about 12, the volume comes in at about 12:50. Sharif mentioned bond auction. That has nothing, that's at 1 o'clock. Like this all of a sudden just started getting going right there. Huge move to the upside. And yeah, I don't know where it's going to stop. We've already saw Western today. We talked about that earlier. Now it's up 25%. So volume also coming in at that time, sending Western all the way back up. So the other name that was really interesting, and we can't trade it on the show or on our platform, so on the show until it gets over $1 again. That's sort of the rules that we have here on the pink sheets. Oh, there's our VWAP. It's just showing up right there. I like that. But anyways, huge move to the upside here for SIVB as well. This is the real winner of the day. Up 58% on Silicon Valley. Just a monster move right there. You can see it's bounced off 50 cents a couple times now. So if that's not a buy zone, just like FRC down at 13, I mean, this looks pretty good to me, man. You buy it until it breaks. The only problem when you hold pink sheets or any of these names, it's one headline overnight that could change everything. And so then you can't get out. So I would just say right now, let's watch Silicon Valley. They'll probably try to get it to $1, and then at that point, we'll see if it can rock and roll. But it's SIVBQ today, the big winner, up 60.
Can't believe that thing is still alive. Yeah, clinging on there. All right, guys, EVs, they were brought down by the issue with Tesla. Well, we know they report today. But overnight, they cut their prices on Model Ys and Model 3s. That had the effect of really pushing down EVs today. Let's have a look at XPEV. It took it really on the chin, 12% and still going 981 bottom. But, you know, we're trading near the lows right now. Likewise with Rivian, 1266 bottom. It's down 4.5% on the day. Still, maybe we see lows at some point. Ford, we saw this one earlier, down 3.5%, was down more, now holding above 1225, 12.25, guys.
Yeah, look, Tesla, obviously we know they're reporting tonight. That's a big one. I liked Rivian this morning, but I missed that trade. I'll get to it in a second. But Tesla is at the high of the day. It's holding up. It's not anywhere near a big resistance zone. It's just the market's at the highs, and it's been gliding in range. I had some scalp trades to the long side off of 181, but the real trades, I think you need to be working off 180 early or maybe just taking a dump at the open. And it's just been, I don't know what's going on here in the market. Despite wicking that top, it's not exactly falling apart, which is strange. A lot of times if you run a stop that's that big at the highs, you'd be pulling back significantly. In Tesla's just holding the highs, not everything I'm in is holding the highs, but we're not going anywhere. And I feel it's very unlikely. This is not what Netflix did in the aftermarket or in the afternoon. Yesterday in the afternoon, Netflix was bopping up and down $3 at a time. I think it did it 3 times in the last 90 minutes, and I kind of expected the same thing out of Tesla, so I've been just waiting for it to start happening so that you can buy the dip and then short in front of resistance, go back and forth. But there's nothing, what do you do with a 30-cent range on a stock which is reporting after market and everyone's expecting volatility? I think you just wait for a move to happen. I don't think you don't guess at the direction here. This is a little bit disappointing to me. I expect we get some movement in power hour, but there's no guarantees that we will. I've canceled my orders on Rivian this morning. In the Rivian, I said, okay, 13 breaks in play, but I was trading other things. So 13 broke. I was looking for a bid in front of the 52-week low, which is 1250 something. It never really got quite far enough down there for me to catch it. So no long for me either in Rivian. I still believe with the weakness, 4% down, it is on a collision course with that 52-week low. And if we get it, I do want to try a long first. So 1250. It'll be a long the first time through. If I had stepped a little bit further out in front, then I would have gotten this bounce, but then the risk to reward makes no sense. Because it's a $12 stock, if I'm getting in at 70, that doesn't really make a lot of sense here. And even then, is that a win? If you get long at 70, knowing you're carrying it to 1250 or beneath 1250, and it only goes to 1297, you have to be exactly perfect in your out for that to be 1-to-1. So that really actually, even if I made a win on taking that trade early, it's not really, because if you do it every single time, it's going to end up being poor R&R. And I hate a bad R&R trade. I'd rather miss it than jump in too early.
All right. Tua considered retirement, I just saw. Of course.
Is that surprising?
Of course he did. When I saw it, Tua considered retirement, I was
now.
But yeah, we're talking in the past. I think the Miami Dolphins could be a pretty hot team once again. I don't think
Go Bills.
I don't think I'm in, of course, but I don't think I'm in the minority with that. As I said, that's my daughter's favorite team now, Miami. Oh man, thanks Playmaker and everybody there. As soon as we went to Miami, she's like, this is my jam, and good for her because it should be everybody's jam. Miami's obviously. As opposed to Buffalo, Neil. Better, where would you rather live, I guess. But as far as a team.
Live? Come on.
That's what I'm saying. How's my daughter not going to be doesn't love Miami coming from Toronto?
I love Buffalo, but pretty much everybody's choosing Miami. What are we talking about?
If anybody's in Buffalo, no disrespect to
No,
Buffalo.
I love Buffalo. We love Buffalo.
Of course. We're there all the time. I should have bought some real estate there. There's my daughter right there. It's hard to see her. But
Wait, you don't love our house?
Yeah, we always made fun of it. There was these couples as we were driving up down I-90 or whatever it is there, there's all these houses right along the lake, and it just they just look so.
No, there was one that was painted
yeah,
like
there's like one orange, yellow, blue.
But there was a blue one, and every time we drove past, we're like, "Yo, man, we should just buy that blue house." And then when we go to the game,
and we could we crashed there. We don't have to worry about crossing the border.
Yeah,
and I think to buy the house was like $4,000 or something.
Oh no, it was probably like $50.
50. Oh yeah,
no,
$4,000.
I'm joking, but this was at the time when you could really pick up real estate really cheap. Like you guys know, like past the crash, what it was like.
Yeah, no, but this is like we're talking like 10 years.
Yeah, we're talking a long time
ago. So no problems there. Yeah, so Tesla, we actually made money back. We got it at 2/3, and we got out right there when it broke there. We were short early. We're going to talk to Danielle Shea about this when she comes on. I know Sharif has a bunch lined up for her, but there's the move down on Tesla, and I thought, hey, you know what? If the market's going to be red today, Tesla was already pretty red. It was down 3%. We talked about them with their EVs, right? Down $3,000. So they started this move on the Model 3. It was 48 grand. Now down to, I was just looking at it right now, 39.9. So they chop about 7 to 8 grand off their final price of that car, and that's all in the last 3 months. So I don't know what they're going to guide forward. Are they seeing a little bit of a slowness in demand, or do they simply just do that because it's basically a middle finger to the rest of these guys that can't seem to get production going, and then Tesla all of a sudden is cutting the price of their cars to lower their own margin to sell more? So I feel like it's a good move by Tesla. We talked about that last time. It was confusing the first time because I was like, when they're lowering the price of their cars, what's up with their margins? But it makes sense why they did it, to sell more and get more on the road there, get those charging stations and everything going. But we lost early. We lost 70 cents there. We took the short once it broke that pre-market right there, and then hit it even lower. I thought it was going to go. We hit the 178 short. Then we averaged into the pre-market bottom, and then once it took the 50 period and retook 179, we were out. So basically, my worst fill there is 178. Then we have some 178.70s, and then there's the out at 179 and change. Then we re-shorted it off a crazy move that was going to the upside, and I was using this area right there, 182, as our out. So we shorted it here, 182, and then when it, well, I guess that's 182.12, 182.10. So we took about 20 or 30 cents worth of risk, and we're able to get something out there. I mean, I can zoom in even more to see, you guys can see the exact prices. But there's the short there, 181.85. There's the out, 181.20. There's another out, 181 flat. So this is about 90 cents worth of a win, and then to get it out, we lost 40 cents on the last third. So we made some money back on Tesla, but look at this, man. Never doubt this name. It's just continuing to go to the upside. Never doubt it until 4 o'clock, because that's when we're going to get that report back out. I don't know if that's a Fahad picture up there. I don't think it is, but that's a nice one.
It's a beautiful picture.
There for the Tesla charging station. That's on. Was that on snow or what?
You know, the other advantage is you were mentioning getting more people, not just in their ecosystem, but remember, like they get a subscription service for the full self-driving. So it's also it's kind of like the Apple model. They get you in there, and then they're charging you recurring.
What a surprise.
Do you hear us talking about EVs and then you creep up? Is that really all it is?
No, he doesn't hear anything. He's just walking around there. He's sipping his coffee. He's doing his thing. He's hanging out.
People are gonna wonder what you do around here.
I think they already do wonder that. I think they already do wonder that. But no, we love Randy, man. Randy is
it's all kidding.
Jack of all trades. I mean, we talk about Mark doing
Actually, Randy built the desk.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to say that. We've already
built this desk.
We've already talked about that, man. This guy's a lumberjack. He's everything. This guy's a
Jort wearer extreme.
Fish. I mean, this guy tells us stories about fishing.
He's apparently the best fisherman.
Yeah.
Well, in this office at least.
Well, what was that? A bunch of you went up north to do so. Oh, chop down. That's what I was talking about. Weren't you guys clearing firewood? Yeah. Okay, so. I mean, is my lumberjack comment, I mean, isn't that accurate then at that point? But okay, yeah, we love Randy, and it's always nice to see him.
Can you take down a birch tree? Yeah. You could, seriously? Safely? I got to do mine.
Birch tree?
Yeah, there's, well, anyways, there's a big birch on my yard. It's got to go. It's dying, so I don't threaten the house.
All right, all good. All right, let's go back. I'm into Coinbase, but we'll talk about, Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm sure a lot of you are looking into that one today as well as we approach the end. Let's go over, and then we'll talk about Bed Bath & Beyond.
This one was well over 30% up on the day. Giving back some of the gains now. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, up on the day amid bankruptcy reports, possibly the filing of Chapter 11 here. They had tried to save the stock through a number of offerings, looks as if that is not going to work out. But it looks like they're really reporting that the move is as a result of the high short interest here at 19.25%. Let's look at the stock. It had what Randy would call a Christmas tree retracement. You get that big move up to 56 pennies, and then we retrace with that V-shaped retracement right down into 40 pennies. We hold it, and now we're back at 43, guys. BBBY, is that on your radar?
So I've been trading Bed Bath & Beyond pretty much all day, with one exception between 10 and 12 o'clock to allow it to get higher. However, I'm going to show you the chart, and it's going to look really, really good, but I'll explain to you why Coinbase is better than this for me. And it has to do with the action up here and too many decisions being made. So I shorted it, not off the ideal spot, just the pop and fade, which I like as a setup. Something gapping up or down, you get this kind of a move. It tries to the downside, it tries to take out the pre-market highs. This is a legitimate wick. It wicks the top at 46, slams back down, short it into the previous low at 40. This is the point where I was like, oh, 40's got a legitimate buyer. So I backed off. I did end up reloading. I said I wouldn't. I did anyways at 45 and then took it out at 46 for a 1 cent hit. At that point, I'm up on it. It's fine. And then it starts breaking 50, and I wanted the shorts above that 50 level, overfills at that 50. So I start in at 52, kind of early, but I don't go all in. At this point, I have 54s, and I'm 40% in at 54. It hits 55, comes back in. I'm 40% actually here when it hits 55 to 54 the second time. Then it comes down, and right here at 53 in this candle, a 1 million share order gets filled that was holding it up this entire time. So when it cracked and then caught a bid right beneath at 52, I covered some, thinking, oh, maybe there's a forever buyer at every single penny. That wasn't true. It got back up to the high, wicked the high, got 80% in here, and it's hard to tell, but right here is where I screwed up. Because I had the top, I had just gone essentially all in at 54, and then the buyer at 53 showed up again that had the million shares from before. So what I did is I just jumped all over in front of him to scalp the 1 cent, and it didn't even push up a little bit. Like it flew through the orders. I ended up getting too much out, and then it just blew through that guy's order. And I was left standing like, crap, well, I had the top, and I'm never getting that again, and it broke down. So just a little bit too many decisions. I did not need to get anything out at 50. That was a similar situation. It spent no time in front of it. It just crashed right through. Too many decisions on the way down. I don't mind this 51 area. That was definitely a decision point. VWAP was a decision point. And that's what you want to do there. You want to be able to have more than just like 15 or 20% when it breaks the bottom. I ended up getting 40 on the low, so overall, the trade was good. It's just you don't want to be taking too many outs when you don't have to because it's working for you. That's the thing. Let it work for you. It's not, I don't consider that perfect. This should be my best stock in the day, 100%, based on where I was able to get in and where it ended up going.
All right, here we go, man. Bang, 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 bang. Right now, Amazon, as we go flush down the toilet here. This is going to be a trade that I'm pretty proud of. If you're going to look right here, you're going to see an out right here. I got out by accident. I put the wrong stop order in because once I got this fill, I was like, I need to put that stop order in, put the wrong price, got out and got back in. So that's not actually an out. But we're lucky enough that the stock didn't move, so we're able to get back in the same price. But look at this, man. And this is the kind of risk to reward stuff that I'm talking about, right? We could do this every single day. You know, it's right there. We do it every single day. So what's up, Adam DeLuz? I see that you're back from your vacation. Hope you went well. I don't know where you went. Maybe put in the chat. 105.12 right there. Like, look at what price I'm short at. Okay, I'll do that after, Sharif. Huh? I don't know. Something about some sort of parking tickets or something. Okay, so right there, 105.12 right there. Look what my price, 105.02. Okay, so we're short with 10 cents worth of risk. We are now 40 cents in the money. So whether or not you're a scalper like me or you want to hold for a while, you know, this is a good trade there. And I just feel like if you're scalping, you probably want to use more shares so that when you get out, you know, you're able to take a little bit of profit and make some money. Or if you're going to hold for a little bit longer, extend your range. Like if 10 cents is not going to be enough if you're going to be traded for holding for a long time. And then by the way here, me and Obi have been passing back and forth love letters because I apologize to him again about everything, about that noise. So Neil and I, obviously, and everybody on here want to put forward the best show possible. So we're going to make sure that that never happens again. I promise you that. And I want to thank everybody for, you know, putting us straight there in the chat. So thank you for that. I had no, honestly, absolutely no idea that we were that loud. So I want to apologize to everybody. I've already sent messages to Max and Obi. I want to apologize to all of our viewers as well. But hey, when we're passionate about things around here, and if you can't tell, needless to say. But okay, and let's go on now. But what else is next? I didn't trade Bed Bath & Beyond. We talked about that earlier. Thanks to everybody in the chat for bringing that up early, man. That name was brought to our attention pretty early over the last couple of days. Even at 30 cents, it was 25 cents, 28 cents, 30 cents. And people were like, Bed Bath & Beyond, Bed Bath & Beyond. So shout out to all you guys there for the Bed Bath & Beyond trade. And that one's on you. And a good job there by Neil to trade it.
Yeah, guys, UAL last on the hopper here at day's high, 45.83, just printed that day's high. The market loving what they saw and heard today. This obviously reporting today this morning reporting yesterday afternoon, and the market continuing with the bump up this morning. They had the call, and we heard a lot about increased margins with respect to first class and business flyers. That's where they make the majority of their money, guys. UAL at day's high.
Yeah, what a strong name. Like you often hear us say things like, "Oh, so and so is the strongest name in the market." As a matter of fact, I might have said that with regards to Amazon when looking at the chart, but we typically just mean out of the big tech names when we say something like that. Like truly, things like, FSR's made a big move, but UAL up 7%, breaking on the dailies as strong as anything else. And it's been a multi-day move because they weren't the first mover here. You've had a bit of a bounce in the overall sector. I think you're coming into a pretty tricky supply zone and resistance at 47. So this is not an area that I'd be chasing the move to the upside, especially with the market at an inflection point. But I didn't trade it. I didn't trade any of the airline names today. I didn't even look at something like Boeing or UAL. I'm just going to be honest about it. There was a question about Coinbase. Someone said, explain why you're short. I said, fine. Been shorting it pretty much all day long. Coin is...
Oh, yeah, Coin. Good.
So, and this is, I can get exactly why someone would be asking this question. The first things first, we did crack 30,000 back downside and 2,000 Bitcoin, Ethereum, respectively. But Coin was at the 50-period 65 level. I just feel like the risk to reward playing the short until we're back above like these previous support levels, like 67, I almost want to say. Like if you look back here, like that gap fill, the 50 periods at 65, I almost want to be shorting this zone until it tells me that we're back above 67, and then I want to short 72. And I'm not saying don't ever go long Coinbase, but I find with some stocks, it can be easier if you find ranges that you like or methods of trading that make sense in one direction, kind of just go with it. I was short early off the pre-market pop and fade, the same trade I put on early in Bed Bath & Beyond. It stopped me out, wicked me out. I just jumped right back in it, shorted 65 to 60, 64. Reloaded 65, 64 and a half, and then it just started, I have to go to the 3-minute here, then it just started doing this off the high of the day. So it wicked the top, I'm like, okay, let's start in, and then it just held the top. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is just sit in the short, waiting for that to happen. Now it's bouncing off VWAP, and it is trending to the upside. So it's a very valid question. All you have is a wipeout bottom in the morning, apparently data missing from my chart in the middle of the day, and then bouncing off VWAP ever since. If you were long higher lows here, you've been winning. But if you're short off the top, you're also winning. There's more than one way that you can trade as long as you have an out. Like if this had carried through 66, my stop was actually at 66.10, then it's a loss. But as long as you have yourself an out and the risk to reward works, like I'm not getting anything out till it gets to 65, so actually better than 1-to-1, and then you make your decisions down into VWAP. It is an upward trending stock, but I mean, Sean showed you, look at Netflix. You're able to get along in the midst of what was a downward trend, and it can work as long as you're focused on the level and the risk reward of your individual trade. So yes, Coinbase is trending up, but it's been weak, and I like the shorts at these prices where it is on the daily.
Yeah, so I just wanted to address something as well, because I'm into Coinbase. My chart looks much differently than Neil's, but this is why I thought you were going to say many different ways to skin a cat, and I was like, oh, perfect.
I hate that term.
I know, but I thought that's what you were going to say.
I was going to, but I just don't like saying that. It's
no, yeah. Well, we had that dead cat bounce thing. We don't have it anymore. That was pretty bad too. Okay, so yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, Dr. Crusher. Yeah, I remember when they were sanding. That was pretty hilarious. About in the background, we just had that crazy. And then now you know why. You see the desk, and we just told you who built it and everything. So, all right. But here's Sam. Why even mess around with Bed Bath and beyond, when most professional traders trade the same 5 to 10 stocks every day, so you know them well. I mean, obviously, you guys see the way I trade. I do trade the same stocks every day, but my pullback to this is that when you're a day trader and you have access to pretty much any stock that you want, it is advantageous to you to go over. Neil and I just simply have to type in the ticker, and we have instant access to it. Plus, we get really cheap shortable shares and everything like that. So it's really easy for us to switch the game up and go over to a Bed Bath & Beyond. And we've traded Bed Bath & Beyond a lot. I do understand where you're coming from, and I agree. I agree with Sam. I think you are better. I mean, it's just go back at my on the sticky note, right? Pretty much there's 10 to 15 names every single day that you're going to expect to get on there. And quite frankly, today, look at this. Netflix, AMD, and Apple. These are all very, very strong stocks for me today. And I only have 3 names on there. And they're my 1, 2, 3 stocks there. But a name that I don't trade very often is Coinbase. And we're just going to go look at that right now. Like I said, a little different than Neil's. We came up and I just said, you know what? That 66 is a short for me. So when we were ripping up here, we come from 64.60 all the way up into 66. I actually shorted 64.75. You can see the price I'm in right now. That's a 25-cent risk, right? Just look at, to me, it's all about risk and reward. So like when you're taking that 25-cent risk, that's 25 cents right there, right back to 50. I wouldn't have taken it there if I didn't think we could get back. Now, what I think necessarily not always right, then there's the dip down into 65.25. So right there, that's 2 to 1. Then we come down into 65. Now that's 3 to 1. And we're out of 60% of this trade, thinking about a lower move there. So we've already cashed it out. It's a pretty simple one for me on Coinbase. Now, we should have taken that. That would have been 4 to 1, exactly down $1 in the money. But we'll wait to see if it comes back in again. I'm actually going to put a bid right now. What are we at, 65? I'm going to put a bid at 65. I still do have more shares left than I probably should have. I'm still in 40% of this. I'm going to put a bid right now, close enough to 65. I'll tell it to you, 65.08. Hopefully, we had, again, just random prices,
right? We got 2 questions on the rundown, but in the chat.
We do. What are the questions?
So one, the first one's easy. One's for, I think one was for me, but Brittany Grant just asked us, because Tesla's reporting, do you guys hold Tesla in the long term?
Yes.
So that's both of us. I do. I know you do as well. So the answer to that is yes on both cases. And that usually...
Just insert big cap tech name here, and then insert yes for me.
Also, when you own the whole market, it's just like the only thing I consistently buy is the whole market. Think of it that way. So you always own something. And there was another question about it.
But not in an ETF. I think she just meant as
I know, as an individual. But the answer is yes.
We all own Apple.
Yeah, we all. Yeah, but the answer is yes to that one for sure in Tesla. AMC, do I see a swing trade if it holds 5? Here's the daily chart of AMC, and my answer is going to be I don't personally. I can understand where the appeal is for this because it made a wipeout bottom when they got the news, or the latest news at least, of the combination or whatever you want to call it with APE. There's an official term for it that I'm not going to bother to rack my brain to think about. But $5 has been holding here. I just don't see a momentum or reason why you get in a trade like this, because if anything, it's rejecting that last break and feels like it just wants to take out 5 here. So I'm not really seeing like the catalyst for why you would get into it. And we see this all the time. Like sometimes it's almost like it feels better if it's breaking out past 5.75 or 6 than it is standing in front of $5 on a stock which is depressed and you're looking for a squeeze play. So my answer is I don't really see it because there's nothing. If anything, it's trending back into it. So I don't think there's much there. I want to go to FRC just because it's starting to pull back. And $15, and it's hard to find, but $15 has been big resistance on FRC. So it's a very tricky buy the high here when 15 has been an absolute wall, at least the last couple of weeks here. There was one break and it rejected 17, so those are the 2 big levels on FRC. I think it needs a consolidation off the 14 where it broke before, somewhere in here on the south side of 14 to 14.5, and then you make a press into 15 even. And the other thing, I wanted to answer a question, because when you asked about that Bed Bath & Beyond, if there's got to be certain setups that are appealing to you, because the second Bed Bath & Beyond went, they're going bankrupt for sure. We went from not trading Bed Bath & Beyond to I look at it every single day before I place orders. Every day. Because shorting the pops on it it's like it worked over and over again. It happened on Silvergate. Went from not trading Silvergate to looking at Silvergate every day for 2 weeks. setups are just as important as trading stocks that you know, because you trade setups that you know. Never trade Roblox, saw a setup on it, then looked at it for multiple days in a row. Same thing with Block. Block was very similar. Short seller report, was trading Block for 4 days after that, haven't traded it since. So it's not just about individual names, it can be about the setups as well.
Come on, Coinbase. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all about the setups as well, for sure. There it is. Yes, sir. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. Money. Right there. So there it is, man. Coinbase comes right in, fills us at 08, and there's another one. So that's the 3 to 1 right there that we are talking about making that. But okay, Steve G, I did not see that news on Mara. Did you want to look that up, Sharif, if you can? Mara, M-A-R-A. Apparently a class action lawsuit filed against Mara. We'll again, Steve G, thanks for that update. I didn't see anything. I don't know if that's going to affect Coinbase, but it definitely is affecting Mara, down 7% here. I don't know the news. If you're going to look for a volume spike, well, you can't see when I do that, but there is no volume spike here on that news unless it was somewhere around 11:30. But again, down 7%. Probably happened overnight because you get a nice move to the downside there. I apologize, didn't have this early, but one person that does have it is over at the big desk.
Yeah, Sean, it's just the entire industry. You got Riot down 8.92, Mara down 7.36, ETH, the ETF down 8.82, Coin down 3.25. But here's what you're talking about. Rosen, top-ranked investor council, encourages Marathon Digital Holdings investors with losses to secure counsel before important deadlines in security class action. So looks like something coming up there, and this is obviously a contingent liability. Doesn't look good on their books.
No, that's definitely not going to be good. All shorts, they are printing. We are coming to the downside. I neglected to mention one. The only one that I didn't talk about here was Intel. If you remember from this morning, it was just very simply, there was a flat bottom break that I was waiting to have happen. It didn't really give it to you because we gapped down beneath. The reason why Intel is, the likely reason why Intel is down 2% today, and you had some lag on the chips, specifically Intel and Micron, to an extent. At one point it was AMD. There was some demand concerns out of ASML's report, Lam reports tonight, that's another big one. Those are they're semiconductor suppliers, so the equipment to make them, so they can be very important in terms of barometer for these names. So you're gapping down based on that. And as far as I'm concerned, I was just shorts above 31.30 into 31.5, and then cover beneath. So very simple. The second it was getting above, I was shorting into the top, and then the second we got below, it happens to also be VWAP. That'll make sense when it has a defined range. I start covering underneath at some below, at some below. I did one reload that was a compromise on price by getting some at 35 when it looked like it wasn't going to go any higher. The market just kept testing the highs. And I kept thinking I'd get 31.5. When I was convinced that that was just not going to be true, I just shorted it in the mid-30s, and it's essentially just been holding weak. If the market rolls over, I think it goes to the low. And you might see this every single day, but you know what? Like, when was the last time when we were having any threat of going to the downside that there wasn't, like, it was the same thing on Intel, just flushed at the end of the day and short into it. Very, very similar thing today, so you do it until it stops working.
The one thing that Fahad, you and I can all agree on is that the GOAT's last name starts with a J. So you know what I was thinking? Why don't we put up, you want to do a poll? Get everyone involved? I mean, why not?
I'll put it up right.
No, let's just do it now. No, I'm not.
Do it again.
This is not to prove anything. I just want to see
yes,
what it is. No, because
the
reason what started all of this is that there's something on ESPN from The Athletic right now that I forwarded, of course, as soon as I saw it, over to my guy over there. And it just says that 60%, or was 58 to 33 or something like that. It's actually pretty close, of current NBA players thought that Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time. And what the debate was is that, and I understand Fahad's point, is that why, if you were a current player, would you say that someone you're playing against is the GOAT? So I completely understand that, and that number might change once he retires. I'm giving that to Fahad as well. That could be completely correct on there. And the other part about it is that if you're not passionate about something, then it doesn't really matter. So I do, give some respect to that. I just want to talk about AMD. You want to talk about? I had AMD, and I talked about it as short 90 on here. Look, I gave it a go. Here's short 90. Here's short 90 again. We let it go up to that 90-20 level, which was yesterday's level. Remember that? Remember in the afternoon yesterday? And I want to give a big shout out to Michael Escorza as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. First, I just got to select MJ right there, and then we'll see where it goes. But I just want to. It's already not even close. But whatever. We can't discuss it anymore. Because it's going to be a moot point. We can't. But okay, so I just want to see what everyone else thought. So right here, I think you're right, Michael, and I said this in the chat. Man, the market has a special way of making you waste time. I think 100% the truth right there. If there's not an opportunity, to trade, you don't need to put it in. And I think that's one of the more important things that we should all understand is that you don't need to put on risk at every time on every day. Here's that level right there, 90-25, that we talked about yesterday in the after show. I always keep calling this the after show, but the market's still on. The late show. Let's go with the late show. I'm going to have to think of something because I can't just call it, for some reason, the afternoon show doesn't.
I mean, we do put I think it's technically called the close.
If I just use that, then it would make sense. For some reason, I can't. Closing show. I think I can wrap my head around that. But anyways, let's just come over here just real quick, and then we'll start to go back and forth. Once that poll got to 75%, I just closed it. So you're going to have to tell me as it gets updated.
Look, man, it's exactly where you expect it to be.
Yeah, okay. So that level right there on AMD is what I wanted to respect. So there's the short 90. There's the short 90-18. This one actually worked. It gave us back some 90s. So we actually wind up pretty flat on AMD because then it takes out 90-25. We got out. So we didn't have to worry about it. The missed opportunity, I feel like, is maybe going short again. But AMD's positive. I only really want this name short if it's negative against the market. So right now it's at the market, so not too much going on there. Just to go back, we did put an order, and this is my bad. I was sitting right here on the 50 period, like literally at the 50 period. And you know where it came down to? 1 penny away. So now I've adjusted my order. We're going to get another out of here at 104.60 if it does come back. Actually, I put it at 104.57. I'm going to put an order at 104.60-ish. 62 right there. And that's another tip. I saw Steven, what's up? Thank you for joining. You've now found the best day trading show on the planet, and it's completely free. So thank you, Steven, and welcome on the show. Just hit the like button. I don't like to get out at the even price. So if I'm thinking support is at 65, I mean, here's a good example on Coinbase. So I thought support was at 65 right here. And so where did I bid? 65.02. Just because I'd hate for it to come down and I'm in there at 65 and then no one's pushing the button and then it goes back up and then it's like, I missed it by 3 cents. You'll hear Neil and I talk about that all the time. And I still talk about it. Even if I put an 02 there and it went to 05, I still would have bitched about it. So it's sort of a little thing that I try to do, not sit exactly at the price that you want. And I do that both ways, on the stop out as well and on me getting out for profit. Try to do the same thing back and forth there. Microsoft looking like it wants to go. What happened now?
No, if I type in
FRC?
No, if I type in DIS in our platform.
Oh yeah, Disney.
Like the number 5 thing that comes up is Disney in New York.
Yeah, why does D'Amico Milan come up first?
Yeah, there's a company in Milan that's DIS.
Walt Disney.
Which is a pain in the butt when you have entitlements for multiple markets because you type in DIS and it's not even like Disney, like actual Disney that comes up first, which is ridiculous, by the way. But
I added Disney to the portfolio, just to let you guys know. I bought more.
But they report,
I think it was the 10th.
They're the 10th.
Or it's the 25th. Now that you said that.
Somebody else was the 25th.
Somebody else is the 25th. I'm going to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's the 10th.
You look that one up. They don't report yet. But this
good
one,
memory, 10.
Yeah, they're the 10th. Who was the 25th now? That's the other one because we talked about this morning. But if you look at what Disney's doing on the daily chart, it is just riding the 50 period the other way on the daily. Like you can almost just, every single time it gets above 100, look for the fade. And then once it breaks 98, like 90 is monstrous support there for Disney. It's holding pretty much right now. I don't know about a day trade there, but I think someone was asking about Disney, what it's doing. That was FRC for a second, but it's doing absolutely nothing. And Sean was just saying, if you don't see a trade, you don't have to make a trade. I don't see anything for Disney. I'm not really seeing entry points on Tesla right now. FRC maybe. It's a strong maybe because I kind of thought you'd test down in and really try to run some long stops. Like anybody long from the morning, like you ran some stops. See what I mean? Like you ran stops here. Some people got trailed out on this move. Some people definitely covered their longs. But I'm not sure, like maybe you had a few people that are just slowly taking profit, but nobody got terribly scared up there. Like it didn't flop down in and give you a real wipeout to catch a dip buy. So I want to see something like that before I consider getting long into this, because I think 15 is a big resistance level. So it's got to make a real move down from here to pick it up going into that. I don't know about paying for locates because it's probably not free on FRC. Before I say that, I should actually, let me just check. Is it free? No, we have to pay for, oh, wait a minute. Nope. Maybe I
must have paid for
No, I
shorts?
must have paid for it this morning. Oh, you know what? It is free. It's a
What?
quarter of a cent.
Oh, but we still got to do it.
Yeah, I did process it. I wasn't going to, but then when I found out it was a quarter of a cent per share, I put them in the back pocket just in case. So I can short it if it gets to 15 or 17. But I want a more significant pullback and consolidation before I would take a shot at this. The risk to reward has to be there. Because I find when you're trading these, a lot of times to set up on a big time runner that you're chasing, if you're not long at the bottom, you're essentially trying to hit like 1 time out of 5 or 1 time out of 3 and hit a home run. Like it's not really a setup when you're chasing the top where you're trying to win 80% of the time. Because quite frankly, if you buy a stock that's up that much, you're not going to win 80% of the time. That's just not how it goes. So you're really looking for a spot where you can hit a home run on it and the risk to reward's nice and good. And that it's not there at 14.20. It might be there down around 13.5 though.
All right. I just want to tell everybody, anybody that's here for Ms. Danielle Shea, she has confirmed, and she has something on another station. I've never heard of that other station, so I don't know what it was.
She has to slum it before
Maybe
she
they
comes
just
on
settled
here.
something for $700 million or something like that. Trader TV Live and settle something for that. Okay, so we'll wait there.
Still be here though.
Larry Bird was the only guy who could beat Fahad at the free throw line. I don't know. Was Larry Bird greater than 93.5%?
He was not.
So then he could not beat Fahad.
Fahad can hit, and this is by his own word, Fahad can hit 93.
It wasn't 92.5. It was one of.
No, it was 92.5. No, it was 92.5 because over-under.
Over-under. We had to give it that. So the percentage is about 92.
Which I'm pretty sure maybe, how many?
I think it's Steph. I think that's where it came
maybe
up with
one
it.
or two people in NBA
I think that's
history.
Steph Curry. I think it's
Steph Curry. Steve Nash was pretty good.
Well, I'm assuming Larry Bird had a nice.
Nah, he's more like 88.
Yeah, 88. Well,
I'd say 88.
If Fahad ever shot 88% for the year from the line, he would probably retire. Like, that would be an embarrassing number.
We know he can't do that.
For him on that one. Okay, yeah, we'll wait. We're ready to rock and roll here, man. Apple, let's go over that. I'm still long Apple. And this is what we were talking about. And it was, now I even forget the name, and I apologize. I was talking about, one good trade. We marked down 166. We really liked that 166 level. We hit it to the upside. The main problem with this trade for me was all of these outs. Like, it was early. We hit it with a lot of shares. And remember I told you about scalping versus not scalping? Should have held it, man. Look at Apple just continue to go up. Like, I was really happy. You guys saw me on the show when we got this 166.80. I was like, yeah. But Apple just kept on going, man. And again, the number, we only have 3 names on here, and Netflix is the other one as well as AMD. But we knew Apple, we liked the Apple long. And that is really the key. It's not about, like, I'm still in it, by the way. Oh, what I called this up for was, I'm going to use this 50 area as an out. We dipped down into 50 right there, but I'm almost thinking about changing it into something like this, like up here, 60s, 70s, something like that. You're still at 80s and bouncing around. You know what? Let's save ourselves a dime and get out if we take that out. That would mean that we're a little bit below the average here for the 200 period. We haven't taken out this 200 period all day, and now we're actually below it. So I'm going to use this 167.60 area to get out. It'll be $1.80 or $1.80 now. Give it back. So it'll be about $1.60 in the money on Apple. Still my number 1 stock today, man. It doesn't look like Amazon will give that to me here. But so far, so good as we respect this Apple trade. I'm just going to put my stop in right now. And let me just do that again. This is 60s. Okay, so 60 break. We're out of this name, and it's Apple.
So there was who was just saying about Fastenal there? It was Reliable Rudy. So shout out to Reliable Rudy in the chat for pointing out a potential break on Fastenal. Yeah. But one of the things you look for on a breakout is usually catalyst, volume. You want something else. And don't get me wrong, like you look at the top, I mean, it's pretty clean as day. It is flat on the day, but you can see what's going on here at $54 on the stock. I don't have to tell you what the chart looks like. You pull it back a little bit further, and this is why I hesitate, is look what happened the last time it was breaking this high. I mean, this is 53.80. Wicked it, goes back to the 50 period, breaks it here, and the biggest flush is going to be when it failed at 54. So yes, it's got a somewhat of a breakout at 54 even, but if we're looking at it in terms of how it's responded to these breakouts, you've been losing taking a breakout of this channel on Fastenal. And when that's the case, in most circumstances, if you think it's a long, the longs have been supporting 51 more than anything else. So I know it looks like a great setup. If you had earnings coming through or something like that, and you're considering that maybe it's going to gap through and you want to swing into earnings, I don't know why you'd buy the stock on a breakout. There's other ways you can play it, but yeah, you need volume. You need something a little bit stronger than this. I'd be really, it's not about scared, it's just I wouldn't like it. You have to hold it to 55. There's not enough volume to tell me that as a day trader, there's definitely not enough volume for a 1 hour trade that I'm risking $1 to short 50 to go long on a 54. So I wouldn't take it, but I understand what you're getting at in terms of the setup. Just always sometimes look at the other end of this. When it rejects this high, what's it doing on the other end if you like the long? And that's been money going long off 51. There's always another way that you can play this, which can always require patience sometimes. But yeah, it's absolutely testing that top, no question about it. We try to look for those. This is the thing about the market. I know everyone wants, you want crazy trades and all that stuff, but look what we're doing. We sat here all afternoon yesterday, 13-2. This is a 60-minute chart, by the way. On the 60-minute, all we've done is get up to that same 13-2, wick the high, and then if I pop my 15-minute up so you can see the barcoding, and then we're doing this. So I'm short a bunch of names that set up off resistance, and if we flush, great. And if we break the top, I mean, there's Apple out there, Tesla has a lot of room to 186, which would be a resistance level. There's names that can continue to maybe go, but if you're inside this range, you're scalping something, you're holding something that's in the money, I don't know that you're forcing trades, or you're looking for small cap names that you can play around with, one of which, oh, John saying Bed Bath & Beyond, it's not going. FRC is coming back into 14. That could be interesting if it breaks there. Bed Bath & Beyond continues to flush. I have almost nothing left. It's literally 5%. Actually, yeah, it's literally 5% of the stock, and I'm probably going to get it all out at 40 even. It's got a good level at that 40. It probably doesn't even break it. And yeah, I'm not going to force any trades here, but you do want to find something that's either ridiculously strong, bucking the trend, or at a key support or resistance level. To me, that's the criteria I want, and if it's a breakout, it better be doing volume.
Okay, so I have a trade. I think that fits some of that. What time is it? 3:02. Welcome to Power Hour. Uh-oh.
No volume? Oh,
no volume again.
See, it happens something in the afternoon.
Yeah, there's something in the afternoon show there that, well, yeah, was it the afternoon?
They fixed it last time, and then it was, I don't know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no sound. Okay, you guys hearing that in the chat? Let me know if you, no, they're not. Okay. Just confirming that won't be heard. Okay, so Microsoft. Again, huge move up. I feel like we've already missed the top, but this is another one of those names that I feel like fits the bill. That little top right there is 90. I'm almost thinking that if you want to get short right now, 75, 76, this is almost like Coinbase × 2 trade because Microsoft has a bigger opportunity being a $300 stock. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying Microsoft 300. That was one of those names, man. We talked about that. Remember with Prad, we talked about like what names to buy and to hold and things like that. I know this guy was buying Microsoft down. I remember when he was asking me, he's like, 230, should I buy more? And I'm like, yeah, you should. But there it is, a nice move upside.
My dad and I were talking about how great Microsoft was literally last week.
Yeah, Microsoft is fantastic. I really like Microsoft. But I think this is a good trade right there. If it comes back up to 288.80 or so, you can have that against 289. I think that's going to be a good trade. We've already sort of showed its face there when it tried to go last time by wicking to that top and then making that move right back in. So if you're looking for something top heavy right now, there's going to be a lot of names that look like this. It's just Microsoft can give you that juice. Like if the market does fall, and notice all these if-then statements.
Yeah, you want to sip
that juice. It's just, I don't want to go short right now because it's not at a level. It's just hanging out, literally in the middle. But if we can come up to here, then I don't mind a 288.80 level there. So we'll see about taking that one into the short side of things. I think you got, oh, it's fine now. It's just fixed it. Try now. Yes, sir, he's back. This is what I'm talking about right there. Good job on that one. All right, so yeah, this is not bad, but it's got to go. We're already short Amazon. We talked about that. Amazon's trying to make its move back up. We just took another out there at the 50 period at 75. Look at Amazon getting exciting. We only have, let me see, I can just check by my stop how many shares we had. Yeah, we only have 20% left. So actually, now that this is going back up, I got to adjust the stop. Where's our stop, you say? Good question, Sean. 105.10. So if we take these levels out. That's been the high. We talked about this. We've already hit it. We're only in 20% now. If it climbs back up, we'll look out for that. But I don't know if we'll reshort it, man. The future is not really giving us like any indication that we need to. If the futures had ripped and we were up here, then I'd reshort it, right? Because I have the futures with me. But in here right now, if you short Amazon right now and the futures go back up, you're guaranteed to be punching out for a loser. So I'm gonna wait to see what the market does before reshorting this thing. So right now we'll just hold out on the tight spot there that we have on Amazon. Okay, we've traded a lot of names today. The only name, well, we lost on Tesla, we talked about that, but the only other name that we really lost on here was BAC, and this is another one that I took right in front of everybody earlier on, and it was just shorted that break. That was yesterday's bottom. That's a mistake for sure. Got out of it, re-shorted it, then got out again. So really not able to take profit on any of these trades on BAC. And I was even talking to you guys about it. Wasn't a heavy position at all, but still no winners there. BAC downside. Wish we didn't have that trade, but we do. And look what BAC's done ever since. It's just hanging out at 30 bucks. To me, I'm thinking about that short right now. I do see that we have Danielle Shea ready soon to come on, but you know, on the banks, this could be something right there. We've already lost on BAC today. This is again one of the only losses we have, but this is a key level. Ooh, Amazon's coming back into our price as well on that, but 30.10 right now coming through on BAC. That could be a level. If you see that flash in there while we have our guest, then that's what it is. Did you want to say something before we went over, or?
No. It's all good. It's all good. I'm going to show you something, and we can talk about it after.
Okay, good. Over to the big desk with our guest of the day.
Right, guys, we have Danielle Shea, VP of Options at Simpler Trading. Thanks so much for Danielle for being on. First time for me to interview you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So we had Netflix earnings yesterday, so let's get right into that. Interesting little take here. I mean, let's talk about what is on everybody's mind. The postponing of the password sharing crackdown. That was supposed to bring in new revenue. I mean, they point to the Canadian business, the Canadian model as one having generated new accounts. They tried to assuage fears a little bit on the call by saying, you know, we're not going to take that in Q2. It's going to be, we're going to kick the can down the road to Q3. So is it as simple as postponing eventual income, or is there some risk here?
You know, I think that the biggest risk they have with that is just making consumers angry, right? Because everybody loves to share their Netflix password. So I actually think it's a little bit more risky, even though it is supposed to bring in more income, and they're hoping that obviously, you know, the people who are cut out start paying themselves. I actually think it's not a bad thing that they postponed it, because I do think that it will potentially anger some clients.
Yeah, no, look, I'm one of those people that was affected because, you know, we have that here as well. It's been in full swing in Canada. All right, so how about their ad tier? What did you take away from that? Anything good on the horizon with the ad tier?
I mean, I honestly think that the Netflix earnings were pretty good overall. I mean, I think that the way, especially when the market reacted initially and Netflix traded down to $2.92 and we saw Netflix actually go positive after hours, I mean, I think that the results were pretty good. And I think that Netflix is on a really positive trajectory over the course of the last several quarters. I mean, we've seen the share price double from the lows. We've seen reactions overall positive. So, I mean, I think that the ad revenue looked good. I think that EPS looked good. I don't think that the password sharing is all that concerning for me personally. I think that'll have more of a negative impact, even though in the end it might equal to more revenue. But I think everything that they're doing looks really good. And I love the Netflix weekly chart. I think the Netflix chart is consolidating on that weekly time frame. And I think ultimately we're going to see Netflix trading up into about $400 a share.
Looking like a real bargain down at 160, that's for sure. They're looking to spend some more money too, content-wise. They announced that yesterday. They're looking to spend about $17 billion in 2024. Shrinking margins, more competition, that's a lot of money.
It's definitely a lot of money, but I mean, Netflix, that's what they have to do, right? You know, Netflix was lucky because they were the first one in this space. Netflix is really the company that created the entire, I would say they're the company that created the entire streaming culture, you know? And so, yes, it's a lot of money, but if they're going to remain one of the leaders in this space, I mean, they have to spend it, because at this point, there's so much competition that unless they have their own original content that people love, I mean, you know, there's no way that they're going to be able to remain in competition with Disney and HBO and all of the others at this point.
All right, let's talk a little Tesla. Coming out this morning, surprising nobody maybe, with new price cuts. Now they're also looking to expand at the same time, Danielle. Like they're talking about a Monterey plant. Is that risky in the face of tightening margins?
Yes, I do think that it's risky in the face of a tightening margin, because I mean, hey, you know, for so long we were trading Tesla based off of the idea that they were going to have more factories and they were going to be able to have higher production. And so, you know, we were going long and we we're buying Tesla based off of all this news. And now we're at this point where, okay, those things have played out and they do have these factories and now they have all of this supply. And I think that this is really the first quarter in a while I'm more nervous going into the earnings report, just because of the number of price cuts. You know, at first it wasn't really concerning to me because, hey, you know, I thought he was honestly just trying to mess with the president by getting the price of the cars below the level in which people would need to pay in order to get a rebate. So I thought that was kind of funny. But now there's been so many price cuts. I think that it has shareholders in general nervous, and that's why we're seeing the share prices in Tesla go down into earnings. So I think we're in this really weird spot with Tesla where, you know, they normally do a great job on earnings. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that this quarter because of the number of price cuts that they've been issuing. It's a little bit strange. So for me, you know, I can't wait to see the numbers, because I would love to see a fantastic earnings beat. I would love to see, you know, the anxiousness around all these price cuts, you know, be in the past, but it could be a problem.
Okay. All right. It always feels like there's a lot in the hopper with Tesla. So we've got a lot here. We got the Cybertruck, the company's energy division, a new model, possibly the Model 2. Anything on that?
You know, I would love to see all of these things come to fruition. And those are all the main reasons why I continue to buy the stock, because I do think that, you know, ultimately, once the Cybertruck is actually out on the road, you know, we got the semis out there. And, you know, once we have these lower price models, those are only going to continue to give shareholders reasons to buy the stock once they have a, you know, larger product line. And then you're also going to be seeing Cybertrucks everywhere. So at first I thought they were very ugly and crazy, but my husband's on board and he's actually driving the train. And I don't know. He's really excited to have one of those. I actually have one on order, which is insane to me, but hey, I do. So I think it'll be good news for Tesla once they're out.
Yo, what's up, Danielle? Wait a second. Nice to see you, and thank you for coming on here again. You have a Cybertruck on order? Is that what I just heard?
Yes.
That is sick, though. That's awesome. I want to roll around my street in one of those and just be like, have people look at me and, hello. Did we lose her here?
I'm here.
There? Oh, there he is. Yeah, aren't you like afraid that people are going to think that you're part of the military or something like that? I wasn't sure about that Cybertruck, but is it a $100 deposit? What do you have to have for that? Because that's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, it was just a $100 deposit, and my husband is all about everything Tesla and SpaceX, and so he was, you know, in the very front of the line. And I mean, at the time, I thought it was completely ridiculous, but it's taken me a few years, and I've gotten on board. And so, hey, you know, I 100% agree that they look ridiculous, and I'm sure everyone's going to stare, and it'll be very embarrassing. I'm not going to drive it myself, but it might be cool.
I think it's really cool. I think I'm leveling you up on that. I really like that call there for the Tesla truck. All right. What surprised me, honestly, was JP Morgan. And I don't know if you're ready to talk about banks. I feel like you're always ready to talk about everything. I want to thank you for that. what a move. Yesterday I said to Neil at this time of day, and I was like, what price do you think JP Morgan's at? And I was thinking like 135, like 137. We looked over and it was 140, taking out 140, moving up to 141. And if you come to my screen here, Fahad, you're almost all the way back. Like SIVB, regional bank, what? Like, do they not even exist? Downside move there, and I know we're talking about the big money center bank, the largest in the US, of course. But JP Morgan almost right back to these highs. Do you have any opinions? I almost think this aggressive move means we probably take these out right now, and I'm excited for it. I was one of those guys that sold down near that 127, 128, thinking that that bottom had been breached. Any opinions on any of these banks right here?
So JP Morgan is my favorite bank. And if I'm going to trade any bank, it's got to be JP Morgan. And if I'm going to hold any bank stock, it's got to be JP Morgan as well. I just think that they're, absolutely the leader in the space and they're the best one. So there's a couple different things about this. JP Morgan had what we would call a 2x move. So whenever you're looking at, an overnight earnings move, usually in the options market, they price it out, right? And they say, hey, we're expecting whatever. So if you look at Tesla, the expected move in the options market is going to be $13, okay? So when you look at JP Morgan had a much higher than expected move. And when that happens and when you have a gap up like that, those are one of my favorite post-earnings trades, actually. So I think the move after JP Morgan earnings was related to the major gap up that it had, and it had a, multi-day move. Usually we look at those moves for about 5 to 8 days, and I think it's kind of waning right now. So I think the post-earnings trade was related to the gap up, and I think that, it was a great move. But in the long run, if you're looking at, where this could go from here, because, that move has waned a little bit. I'm looking at the weekly chart and I have consolidation. I have a squeeze on the weekly chart, and I completely agree with you. I think you're right. I think it's going to break out above the 143 price point. And let me see if I can get some levels for you on that. Looking at the fib levels, I have a target at 160 and then back up at 170 too. So yeah, I think long-term, JP Morgan's going to continue to recover. And this earnings move it was phenomenal. And I think it was a great start to earnings season.
No, I love that. And I just called out the weekly as well to show everybody. That's what I was thinking too. So it's nice because I know that I'm not that smart, but it's great to have your opinion there as well. I think it could break out through that level as well. Danielle, just promise me that, once you're in that Cybertruck and you're in the driver's seat, that you get someone to take a picture, because I want to see that, you driving around the streets there in that Cybertruck. I think that'd be hilarious. Not just because it's you, but I love the Cybertruck. I'm like obsessed with it. And you're the first person that I know that has, a pre-order out for that. And I'm just excited. And I don't know. I really think that's going to be a cool truck. They've actually changed the back. I think they had the stoplights there in the back. They changed the way that they were looking. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I just hope that he doesn't do one of those demonstrations again where he bashes the window saying that it's not going to break, and then it completely breaks. But how's Luke, by the way?
Oh, he's doing amazing. He's, growing bigger and bigger every day. Here, how about this? When I get the Cybertruck, I'll take a nice selfie of me and Luke, and I'll send it to you guys. Beautiful.
Danielle Shea, Simpler Trading, thank you so much for coming on one more time, and you always rock it with your insight. And I got to say thank you on behalf of all of our chat. Our viewers absolutely love you, and you are definitely a big proponent to what we do here. So thank you, Miss Danielle Shea, and have a great week, and go Kansas City Royals. I don't know, is that... I don't know. I know you're a Texas Rangers, Royals. I don't know. Are you a baseball fan at all?
So I'm actually a huge baseball fan. My older son, he's 9, and he plays Little League, and we do the whole Little League thing all the time. Yep. And we actually go to the Houston Astros games a lot because my husband's from Houston. And so we go to the Astros games. And yes, I do actually go to my hometown Kansas City Royals games when I'm in town as well. So, got a couple teams here that we watch. But for me, it's more of, the entertainment. I like to eat the Dippin' Dots and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Too many Dippin' Dots for me, but yeah, the refreshments definitely like it. Danielle Shea, we'll let you go. Thank you so much again, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, you too.
Ciao.
Bye.
Everything was perfect until Kansas City Royals and Houston Astros there. It's like,
I should have thought because I know.
which I knew.
Yeah. Because.
But like you saw me kind of cracking up a little bit there. Because
well, we just played Houston.
You guys all saw the eye roll that Danielle put on when she. Danielle put
well,
on.
I didn't see.
No, talking. The second the Cybertruck thing came out, we got one on order. And she gave, and sometimes it's really subtle, and I saw that. I want you to know, I know you're still there and you can hear us right now, Danielle. I saw that eye roll. That is perfect because my wife gives me that eye roll.
I was gonna say if you're married,
all the time.
Yeah, if you're married,
all the time.
All the time. I think she gives me that look more than any other look. But
like, what is wrong?
I mean,
really,
imagine,
you're spending that much time on fantasy?
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of stuff. Oh,
like,
you guys are
you
talking.
You didn't hear what I said again. You know, things like that.
You're asking me what time gymnastics are again?
Yeah. But Little League, I actually didn't talk about this with Danielle. I coach Little League, so shout out to that, everybody that plays in Little League. It's very, very competitive here in Toronto as well. So shout out, and that's part of it, right? Have a good family work mix. I think you and I demonstrate that every day here.
Oh, there was one thing I wanted to point out.
Get down Amazon, by the way.
So market tried to run the highs again and turning back in. So the shorts I still think are valid. But there was one point that got made about Tesla and lowering prices, and it could be trouble for them. Come to my quote board for a second, because I sorted my quote board, and this is just what I'm looking at today. It's like my in play. And have a look at all the worst stocks today. Xpeng, NEO, Nat Gas, Rivian, Netflix earnings, Ford, Lucid, a little Bitcoin ETF, Coinbase again. But, you know, it's pretty much 80% of the worst names that I track are EV names to the downside. And what's the catalyst today? Tesla lowered prices once again. So if everybody's just trying to, I was looking at SoFi because I was chatting with somebody in the chat there about it. But anyways, if anybody's going to talk about Tesla and margins, well, their competitors need to actually survive for the next few years to even grow. So if you keep squeezing them, a couple of them go bankrupt, then mission accomplished, and then Tesla wins anyway. But a couple of things. I did try to get this. When the futures wicked the high again, I wanted to reload Amazon 105, but I waited for the futures to get to the top. Just didn't quite catch it there. We are rolling over one more time. I do want to get to Tesla specifically because it just broke out. It broke the 183. However, whoops, that's not the right price. So I want to zoom in here, guys, so you guys can see. This was barcoding off 182.5. So if we fail to break, dip back out, I'm going to look for a 182 half entry and kind of give it to 182 quarter, just like 25 cents worth of risk where you were barcoding from. So it's a bit of a rejection in the market of the high of the day, but Tesla first move up. We saw Netflix do this and then gave the up and down a couple of times. Let's see if we can do the same thing over here on Tesla. What is going on behind me?
Sent me this.
What?
It's like trolling me for being Big Bird, I think. Someone just sent me this.
Is that like
what's
a little,
the name on the
a little teacup? Oh, that's cute.
Wait.
Look at you, Sharif. Look at you.
I think
Maybe it was Alfred. I don't know who sent you this.
No, hold on. I
Look at the little dainty little.
Oh, it's for tea, right?
It's for tea.
Yeah.
And you know what? And Sharif will cherish that every single day.
I'm just trying to find out who it was to give the shout out.
Is there a name on there?
No, this is the the way bill. Oh, someone gave it. What was that? No name. Oh no.
So whoever sent it in, if you sent something to Sharif, let us know. That's great. Let's see.
Yeah, that's the Amazon slip, bro. It doesn't. But thank you so much. Yeah, we'll here you go, man. Well, don't leave it here because I'll elbow it. And
He
it'll fall
enjoys
down.
his tea.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
You know what's great? Now you don't have to steal
Playmaker
the mugs
got you
that
that
we were
jersey?
gifted. So Sean and I got gifted. No, we got gifted mugs, right? Like remember, I had the pineapple pizza mug.
Oh no. You got gifted. They sent me something. Golf.
Oh, the golf thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, Sharif would come in and just use everybody else's mug for his tea in the morning. So now you don't have to do that anymore, Sharif. So thank you to the viewers, whoever it might have been. That's awesome. And honestly, we're just blessed. Like we get to sit here, we get to trade live in front of you guys, we get to talk shop, we get to have fun, have jokes, get fantastic guests, have great banter back and forth.
Yep. And
oh my goodness, I'm going to get trailed out on Bed Bath & Beyond here. I thought this was cruising for a 40-cent bruising, but it's got so close. Look at that. Look at it. 47 cents VWAP. It got like right there to where I would have been trailed out and then did a bit of a turn. So I thought this was going to trail me. So strong move on Bed Bath & Beyond. I have less than 5% on, just under 5% of the position. Kind of looking for the home run break of 40 even. Probably should have took it out of 43. Who is it? So thank you, Renata Haddad. You know what's hilarious? I should have just guessed because I was going to guess it was you, Renata. So thank you, Renata. I don't know if you're in the chat. I haven't seen you this afternoon. But thank you so much. Like the viewers, you guys are already the best. All of you are already the best. And we don't really ask anything. So like hit the like, hit the subscribe, hopefully learn something. Sometimes teach us things. I can't tell you how many times I'll look at something or get asked a question and be able to reflect on it and say, yeah, you're right. Why the heck did I do that? I got to examine why, even right now, like why didn't I get out at 43 on Bed Bath & Beyond? That was probably dumb. I should have taken something out here. That's a decision point. Make a decision. So I'm going to get on the bid right now. It's obvious. But thank you guys so much, not just for watching every day, but for being so amazing. Thank you for the super chat. Zion here. Neil, Danielle, love them Astros too. Get the jersey. Not really. Probably not. I'm a diehard. I don't, whether the Jays are good or bad, Buffalo Bills good or bad. When it comes to the Leafs, same thing. Raptors as well. I'm gonna rep the teams locally here, and that's just how I am. And I'm not a fair weather fan at all. However, if you can think of like a creative bet that I could lose, that's the only way you will ever see me in an Astros jersey. I'm losing a bet if I'm in an Astros jersey. There it is. There's that run of the stops on Bed Bath, Bloodbath and Beyond, some people call it, but...
You go short?
No, I'm not shorting it. It's actually going up. So
yeah.
I'm now out of my Bed Bath & Beyond position. Maybe it gets back to the high of the day. Strong mover. It's almost at 1 billion shares today. I actually thought that because it fell off and didn't hold VWAP, it lost any chance it had to get to 1 billion shares. Now that the buying has come back in, maybe it does 1 billion. This is pretty strong. I think you'd be almost looking for longs off 43 at this point. I'd like a dip buy. Maybe we can ride this one to the top. FRC, remember I was looking at FRC for a long trade? I wanted it in the 13s. It's actually holding the 14 level. So if you like the 14, that was your long. I was looking for a dip into 13.5. Obviously, we're not going to get that here at this particular point.
That's funny. You're a lifelong Mariners fan, Douglas, but they break your heart every time. I mean, welcome to Toronto sports.
They ended our season last year.
The Blue Jays? Come on, man.
Seattle
we were favored against the Mariners and got tuned.
One of the saddest sporting events I've ever literally sat at. The Jays had an 8-run lead, and you guys ended our season last year. There was a guy sitting behind me at that game, and when we went to the home opener, the first words out of him, he's like, hey, how's it going? Been a long offseason. I'm like, yeah, you're right. He's like, man, that was a rough last game. He remembered it. We were all depressed over that. Thank you, Mariners fans, for destroying us. And no, Boston, no.
Boston?
Stop talking about Boston in the chat.
Boston is they're a great sports town.
It's just frustrating how good they are.
Okay, did we get out of Apple? No, we did not. Apple's getting close, though, right now, guys, to dropping out. And then, look, this is what we talked about. We talked about the market. What's up to Michael Scores? Talked about the market being pretty quiet and don't take advantage of it if there's nothing to take advantage of. And right now, I mean, look at this Apple. Like, so our stop is right there. I'm still thinking about shorts. Every time we come up here, I'm like, we're long looking to get out if it does break, but this is probably a short, man. You're now under the 200 period. It looks like it wants to continue to go down. We talked about that, maybe that Microsoft short as well. It's just nothing's hitting, like nothing's getting to these levels. Like we almost got there on Microsoft. I was waiting up here at 288. Ooh, we came closer than I thought when I was talking with Danielle there to get the short. We came to 70s. I was waiting at 80s. That didn't fill yet, and now you're trying to push down. So, we do have the imbalances coming out in 20 minutes, so that could be something. We're going to get the update from Sharif. If he says sell, it means a buy. We're going to get that very, very soon on the imbalance locator coming out right there. But that's coming out in a minute.
Did BAC do something? Because
Tesla. Someone's yelling at me about BAC. I saw that, but no.
It's not moving.
So this stock, I just sat in it. We talked about that. Didn't hit anything. Oh, maybe it hit this level. Yeah, I was talking about going short. Oh, yeah, we missed that. But that's I still not enough action. Not enough action. I can look. Neil and I, and so can you guys, probably look at every single chart and try to think of a trade, and that's when you get in trouble, in my opinion, when you're looking at something to try to make something happen.
Because you'll find it.
That's what I mean. We can
Whether
look
it's
at,
there or not, you'll find it.
Yeah, we can look, exactly. We can look at any chart and find an opportunity. It's just a matter of, that's where you got to start to rank them. Do you have like an A strategy, an A+ strategy? a B. You know where I'm going with all of this. And right now,
minus.
B minus maybe. The only, the miss trade here on Google. We recognize Google being weak from yesterday, but look what happened all day today. And I went over to Amazon because I thought it was an extended move. But if you're going to ever look for a name when the market's rallied the way it has here today, look for a name that you know has been weak in the last couple days, and maybe look for that kind of a short. There it is off 105. So it's the same trade as Amazon. It's just look how much weaker this one's come in. This one's now come in 50 cents off that, and Amazon's actually right back to the top. And I'm out again on this. Like, look where Amazon. Oh no. I'm going to get off these fibs. Okay, good. Woo. Woo.
You love
last
those,
time I did that, I couldn't get rid of them.
You love those.
I do. And there it was right there. So we got out. Now we're only in 20%. We're only in 15% now because we got a piece out right there. As look at this, right back upside. So again, that's the thing. I missed the Google trade. That was a much better setup than this one here on Amazon.
Whoa. And
I'm not just saying that because of where Amazon is now. It's Amazon so strong in the day. Play the pullbacks, play it to a level, and we did that. And we did that, played it like a fiddle, actually, right down to the downside. We got great outs. I have a lot of outs at the bottom of this move. So I'm pretty happy with it, but it does look like we will get taken out now. I got to now adjust my stop because it's even different share size right now. Put it down a couple notches there, as it looks like we may get stopped out. And if you're wondering where the out is, it's right here at 105.10 as we get ready to go. All right, Sharif. We'll have to find out what that imbalance is itself.
We don't.
I'm going to go. Sharif just not there right now. I'm going to go.
The early look is
you have it,
341 million to the buy side.
Okay.
It just came through. So we get that from
You might have
Financial
saw Sharif
Juice.
running there, but,
just to let you guys know, the bet is will the NASDAQ break that 13. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. No.
Was that from yesterday? I thought that was the same call.
Oh,
as
no
yesterday.
way. That's wrong.
You got a $10 super chat.
No, it's whatever. That's the wrong one.
Did you already do this? This was an Astros one. No, you did the Jersey
No,
one.
I did the Jersey
the
one.
The Astros are to baseball as inside traders. Yes, are to the market. Yes. I mean, look, when you're throwing shade when it's factual, I just think the Astros were caught cheating, right?
Yes.
Wasn't it? Didn't they?
They got cheated.
Yeah, and they did the whole tapping of the garbage cans and the lights and all that
So
stuff.
here's in defense.
But that is what baseball
in
is.
defense of Astros fans.
Yeah.
If you kind of read between the lines and look at some of the other things that were discussed, the Yankees were cheating. It's pretty well understood,
baseball.
and no one said this, that the Milwaukee Brewers were heavily cheating as well. And I'm not going to name any names, but they had a very good hitter who all of a sudden doesn't hit bombs.
Why
anymore.
you just say Yelich?
It's Christian Yelich, and I'm not accusing. It's just the stats are there.
When you get the ring is when they come after
They
you.
cracked down on the Astros, and all of a sudden, a few people weren't hitting the same way that they were before. I'm just going to throw that one out there. So that's true.
But we took George Springer, and he's been pretty good when he can stay healthy.
I love Springer.
But obviously his numbers
and
are down.
a lot of it's tongue in cheek. Like I don't have anything against Boston or Boston fans. I'm just passionate about the teams that I love, and that comes with being a hater at the teams that beat you. That's just when you're competitive. That's just how you're going to be.
You can't be a Cowboys fan and an Eagles fan.
Why does something keep falling on the bridge? And it's like
That's Brankles. He keeps falling out of his seat.
Brankles, stop breaking equipment.
Brankles, man.
Like a
These
computer
guys
just
in the middle of the day are
crashed back
putting
there.
and hit this and that. And just
But I want to do
chilling
that.
out, throwing chairs.
They legit had the putter going because when the market's slow and we're barcoding, sometimes that's not the worst idea in the world. They had the coffee mug out and they had the putters out, and which is you should expect to see that on a trading floor every now and then. But I can actually do that. But I did reload Amazon. There's not a lot of other trades out there right now, so I reloaded at 98s. And I've already, it's going to be a scalp trade overall because what else are you going to do? It's only 30 minutes left, and we're still not moving. I don't know what to tell. This is the thing. We cannot control the market, and if you try to control the market, you're going to get burned because you're not going to have that kind of buying power. But when you're doing this, what's your trade? Find something strong to buy dips on. Find something that is at a resistance point when the market gets to the high. Amazon happens to be at one. I was in it originally, and I was playing for the big move. You can see what I was doing here. When I got this, confirm that it's below, short it again off the lower high, don't get out till first decision, bid at second decision, and wait till VWAP. That's a pretty standard setup that I like, but you're not getting any movement in the market. So the trade's now an inside scalp it inside the 50-cent range. And if it happens to follow through, it happens to follow through. So, You know, sometimes it's what it is. I've gotten trapped before where I'm looking for the big move and take that setup, and then I waste time because it never gives it to you. Now it's a scalp trade. We'll get more aggressive inside of it. Coin's fine. Intel's still in the money. Okay here. And everyone's betting fail. I'm just going to close the bet on that one again.
Yeah, this is getting a lot of love on my Twitter account right now, and I just retweeted it from the Game Day MLB. I don't even know what this website is. But right there, this was the Detroit. But you know what? The thing about it is that I didn't actually think about this, and there's been 4,000 views, 11 comments. You know what? Like the weather, like if you're in Detroit, I think it's like 0 or 35 degrees, someone said there. So that would make sense at first pitch. Not going to be too many people there, especially in early April. So yeah, I just want to talk about, you know, what baseball looks like compared to some of the other sports. It's not a fair comparison because, of course, there's so many more games and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think any teams are complaining about revenues or anything there in baseball as they look to get. They have negotiations coming up soon, I think, for that as well. But we waited for Amazon, and
oh my God.
it actually went down. So that was a good one. Look where Amazon, ooh, I'm actually just noticing this right now where we're at.
It's starting
again.
to real come down.
Yeah, so everything's starting to go. Let's go. Yeah, there it is. We'll take a 77 right there, and we'll spin the money because we haven't been in many trades, but the trades that we're in are paying them bills right now because there's that Amazon short that we just talked about. And look at that. It was a reload, but we didn't do it. And I just said that, hey, I'm not going to reload this name. But it came out and it came true again. It went right to our level, right there again at the top for Amazon, and then just fell back in. So you may like ho-hum at some of these trades, but like this right here is a 40-cent win. Like we're short right here at 10s. 30 cents. We just got out 77s. It says 37 cents, so you know, in the middle there as we take profit and capture that to the downside. So now we're in the 60s as we continue to fall here on Amazon. I don't have any more pending trades out there. Hopefully we can capture this one. Apple looks like it's going to get out. We have an out at, I just want to double check this because we tell you our outs, we tell you our ins, out at 60. So looks like right now Apple's going to break that bottom, which is fine by me. We're long from here. This is, again, told you we're changed, man, and this is what we did. I held this all day, literally. My first trade right there, 934. It looks like we'll get out of the last piece right now. Obviously wish we didn't have 10%, wish we had a lot more, but we reloaded it twice, so it's nice. And look at Coinbase as well, starting to make a move back in. I still think if we can get a 64 level, we'll take that. It was a buy, right? You mentioned it?
300, yeah, 340
Something to
to
buy.
buy. 340 to buy.
Yeah, that's not really affecting these stocks right now, but for right here, Coinbase continues to go down. We have $1.60 in the money for Apple, 40 cents in the money for Amazon, and 80 cents there for Coinbase as we watch to see what happens at 65 bucks.
Yeah, so this might be the last new entry for me. I just grabbed that Tesla. We were just talking about Tesla failing the break, and it barcoded off 182.25. So I grabbed it here at 50, 51, I mean, is my price, but wanted to give it back down into this quarter. Might just be too weak, the overall market. So it's been a short kind of day. That could continue. This 82 was essentially looking to get back above 83, but we got in. I just got out. So about 25 cents worth of risk. Don't want to stand in front of the freight train. This was a lot on the theory that, okay, you hold the support from before. We saw this happen back and forth with Netflix into that earnings, but it's 340 now, almost 340. You are pretty much out of time. This is more where you're just getting out of what's already working. So we just talked about Amazon already. That means I need to get back on the bid. I always kept thinking that when you press the highs, I was going to get the overfills on Intel. It's not even giving you those anymore. You can pretty much forget about it. We do have, like, Lam is reporting tonight. So this overall malaise and weakness that you're seeing in Intel and Micron, this might not be done. And you know, Intel, okay, this is it breaking down. There's room to the 50 period. Micron, if you look at that one, I wouldn't sleep on if we have a bad report coming out of Lam, that some of the more cyclical chip names, I'm specifically pointing to these two because if you look at the strength in NVIDIA and AMD today, maybe it doesn't apply to them, you could be right back in testing some support levels. Both these have a ways to go from some resistance. So I'm going to come right back in thinking about those shorts. We don't trade Lam. It's like a ridiculously expensive stock. It's not a day trade at all. Same thing with ASML. We don't even bother looking at it. Oh, FRC, I wanted to tell you, no longer going to be bidding 13.5. It's way too late in the day. If it quadunks down into VWAP here, there's no time for the bounce play to work and get back up to the high of the day. So risk to reward could be there tomorrow at this level, but it's certainly not going to be there if it gets there today. So no trade for me. If I had gone long 14 instead, it was like 25 cents of a win anyways, which on FRC to me shouldn't really be a win because you're risking more than that every time you enter the trade.
All right, let's switch the poll. Are we allowed to do that? Let's switch the poll to, will Tesla be higher or lower tomorrow?
Done.
Just will it be an up day for Tesla tomorrow? Because I'm getting a lot of feedback here from the chat. A lot of people talking about Tesla. Will they miss?
Are you saying bet or poll?
Poll.
All right. That's two different things.
Well, we could do bet. I mean, we could do both.
Because
I was just thinking a poll into the close, so that
because
way.
the bet could be open.
Well, the bet we can't answer until tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So I'm just
We
saying.
can do both.
I just like the poll.
I'll do the poll right now.
I just want to see what people think. All right, where are people on the?
Because the other one's 70% MJ and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
so what's the point?
Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. But I just want to say where people are thinking, because there's some people on the chat that are like, nah, Tesla's going to miss. They're a dog, and other people are saying they really like it. So I feel like the poll's going to be somewhere around 50-50.
Do you want to anchor to a price, or what do we?
No, I just want to say, will Tesla be green tomorrow?
Okay.
I don't want to address it to a price.
Okay,
just
green
is
or
it
red?
up or down? Because, like Netflix missed and they're still down. So, we'll see. Well, I mean, that's why I don't want to say, will they have higher deliveries or whatever.
Right.
Will it? Right, 341 buy, so still updated right there. Thanks, Sharif, for that. So this is Tesla's daily chart right now. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit here because we don't want to have it.
Okay, so just to be clear, I want to make this right. Red or green at by tomorrow's open?
Yeah, will Tesla open?
Red or green.
Use that terminology. Okay. Will Tesla open red or green tomorrow? End. So I think that's good. If you come to the chart here, this is why I think it's a great poll because, heading into earnings, it's really coiled up. Tesla has been, someone said it's been a dog lately. I don't think it really has. I mean, when you're referring it to the market, the market's going up. If you're going to relate it to Microsoft or Apple or Amazon, then yeah, it's not. But it's waiting. It's waiting for tonight. And then when it comes through, you're going to get a move. Definitely coming 405. Thanks for that, Sharif. So he's traded some plays before aftermarket. They're very dangerous. We talked about that yesterday. Like, imagine you had that Netflix and you talked about someone getting liquidated at 295. Just sucks. You got to be very, very careful trading in the pre and post markets. I've learned my lesson with pre-markets over the last little while. But here's Tesla, 190 to 1. I'm going to say these bottoms are some of these bottom wicks are like 177, 178, but realistically, we really haven't closed outside of 190 or 180 in about, this looks like 3 weeks back to April. You do have the huge move up there, not huge move, but the move from 190 up to 200 and 210, then the move back. But if you take away these 2 days, it's been really calmed down here for the last 2 weeks. So I think Tesla's coiling up, obviously. The implied move for anybody there that's trading options, we looked at this already. Let me refresh. We had it at 19% there. Okay, maybe I should have done that. Let's see, there it is. So it's back down. So 19, and I screwed this up earlier. Remember the next earnings, I said that was yesterday. That's a 7, not a 4. That's July. So right there, 19% move. And then what Danielle was saying is that when you get an outsized move more than expected, then you can get some crazy movements for the next couple days, hence JP Morgan. So I don't even, what happened to that poll? Was it there and you took it down?
Yeah, my thing is so I need to reboot this PC. It's
All right,
a little bit buggy. So it actually set it out before I had a chance to change the inputs. So I had to change the inputs. So it's good now.
My vote, Neil, you're going to make your vote as well. My vote is green.
There, now it's good.
So I'm going to hit the green right now.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I
There we go. So I'm going to go on the green.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not logged in.
Only because, again, I think that these price cuts will, in fact, affect where they guide. And I don't even know if they are going to guide. But I just think that moving forward, that's enough for me to think that they're going to be green tomorrow. I don't think we're anywhere near 20%. That to me seems really high based on sort of the action, because if you're going to put 20%, that's $40. Wasn't that what it was? It was 18.
Oh, at OpenAI says 18.
Yeah, 18 and a half.
Danielle
19.
had a different number.
She
said $13, and that's not 20%. So
I'll have to re-listen to that.
No, I heard her say $13. So I'd be interested in.
So she's getting it from somewhere else.
I'm going to vote red.
Okay. So there we go. So we're mixed on the board.
See, my problem is I love going counter. I had already seen the percentages because I glanced over.
No, but it's your own opinion.
No,
nothing like.
I think where it's poised.
Right.
it feels like it's a little bit difficult for them to beat this time. And it doesn't matter that it's red or green right now. Like it's technically been weaker than the overall market. A lot of times that doesn't mean anything. But I'm just at the open. I'm just going to go with the red because I could see like a Netflix situation where it's not really that bad, but it dumps anyways, and then it can't really recover all the way back. So I could see like a lack of bid in the aftermarket on the slightest thing that misses, and then they're going to punish them. And then when it gaps back up, it won't actually be green at the open. Like that's my thesis on what'll probably and what I think can happen. But you know, I don't want that to be true because like we said earlier, I own shares of stock. It's not like I want it to go down.
All right, we are really, really banking right now. I just want to, this was just Netflix, but who cares about Netflix? We'll talk about that after, actually. I'm just going to close it, but Netflix right now is making a move back higher, up to 323 and change. I just wanted to show you, despite all this action for Netflix, down huge yesterday and then all the way back, it's been, I mean, it looks better if I sort of zoom back out a little bit here. It's been really muted so far today, right? I mean, this is what it looks like. It's been pretty muted. We had that bottom of 318, top of 323. So it's kind of been sort of like in the bucket right there for Netflix. But look, I don't have to celebrate too much of what we're doing. I'm just going to say this. We had a couple good ideas here for you on this closing show, including this Amazon short that we talked about. It just gave it to you again right there. Nice move to the downside. There goes Amazon. We are really banking on this now. We are now 60 cents in the money on that. And then honestly, man,
Coin's broken
look
down
at
now.
what the hell's happening right now with Coinbase. That got turned up in the studio right there, but there it is right here. Look at this short. Like this is risking 25 cents. You're now at $1.10. Oh, you still have this, right? Yeah, we're still both short. Look at Coinbase going to the downside right now, trying to look at this level here. I think we should take a 64.20, man. If we get, but maybe the market does continue to dump.
Tesla's falling too.
Yeah, look at the market. The market giving
The market
it up.
has finally broken that support.
I said we preferred.
So hold on to it.
Yeah, we both have no longs, and we did. I mean, look, this is the thing. When you're talking about getting in and out of something, look at this Apple trade, right? I mean, this is why you have stops.
What's going on? NVIDIA's going up.
You know, you have stops for reasons, guys. You know, because now you're not in this, and it goes to the downside. So I consider that a win also on that. So far, so good here. As, yeah, I'm getting a little exhausted.
But there's one more thing you guys can do, and if not, honestly, if not for us, if not for the stream, if not for Sharif doing a fantastic job, do it for Danielle Shea. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We are at 747. Which is that's an interesting number if you're into planes, but that's not an interesting number for us for likes. So let's hit that like, hit subscribe, grow the community. That's what we're all about here. We're doing this for free every single day, and you guys are absolute best. I think it's been a fun show to be sure. And what I'm happy about, thank you guys for pointing out that NVIDIA is going the opposite way of the market right now. These are little things that you want to notice at the end of the day. Everything is rolling over. All the shorts look fantastic that you're in. Unless you're short NVIDIA, you're getting your butt kicked if you're short. As the market flushes, NVIDIA pushes to highs and pushes to 280 resistance. This is an interesting setup because if at 350, if it comes gigantic sell imbalance and NVIDIA is at 280 and NVIDIA comes to sell imbalance, then you have the 280 short in there, which is a bit of it's a sneaky, we're already at 280. This is flying to the upside. What is going on NVIDIA? Is there news or something? Like, why would NVIDIA be bucking the trend this much right at the end of the day? It's not very, unless an individual stock has news or some catalyst, I'm not used to seeing a big component of the index make an opposite move like this right at the end of the day when everything else is tanking. I look at my Intel, that's still weak. Is AMD pushing? No, it's still coming to the downside. So yeah, great look there, but the 280 could be something. I wouldn't take it in front of 350. To me, you're making that play just after 350 on a turn. But we'll see what, in about 90 seconds, we're gonna give the imbalances live so we can see what they are. Indicated small buy imbalance. That doesn't really mean anything, but I'm not expecting it's gonna be a buy imbalance when it all said and done.
Flush.
It is a flush.
All right, I wanted to hold that Amazon, but we just came into a level, and we can come to my screen and I'll just show you because again, into the imbalances, it's not really something that's so exciting to me, but there it is right there. I mean, that's That's a pretty good trade. We're smoking on that one there, as it was a good trade, man. 105 short, right back into that level right there. 104.20. I know Max was all over Amazon earlier today as well. So that's going to just put the sort of the icing on the cake right here for me into that trade for Amazon. Good out, came back in, and that's that. So whether or not it continues to fall, I'm happy being flat heading into the imbalances because, hey, if they all come out buys, then yeah, it's going to flip it all around, right? So we're going to watch out for that. Coinbase, a little bit of a different story. We're obviously short on this one as well right there. And we've been short this since 12:30, like, since noon. So this move is another one, man. We're $1.30 in the money. It's been so good today that, I don't... Some days are crappy days. Like yesterday, we didn't have too much movement. And again, we didn't really have too much movement again today. But
not till late.
We picked, not till late. So that's sort of what's making me think this way with only 5 seconds. I'm just sort of delaying here as we get ready for that. Thanks, Twiz. Thanks, everybody in the chat that watch us every single day. And Neil and I try to put on, and we do put on the best show that I think we possibly can, of course.
Like
Apple's as a sell there. So there goes Apple to the downside. And shout out to you, James. You mentioned, you said, how's a stop out a good trade? It's just I use a stop key. That's a $1.50 winner there. And that's why it's a good trade, because if I still held on to it, it'd be in trouble. Google with a sell as well. I'm going to guess, let me just check my Amazon. I'm guessing, okay, that's flat. Okay, FCX, Freeport McMoran there.
AbbVie's a buy.
AbbVie is my favorite.
I never see that stock.
AbbVie is one of my favorite stocks, man. I was buying this one hand over fist during the pandemic. I love AbbVie. Pfizer, Google. So we already talked about all this.
No Nvidia.
What was the final number there? 92 million to buy. Please repeat. 92 million to buy.
Seriously?
92 million to buy. What? So the net number there from Financial Juice. Thanks, Sharif, for that. So this is what we're talking about. I just clicked on AbbVie quickly. I don't even know if I clicked on it, but there's a little bit of a bump up on that too, right? So it's not a huge bump, but remember, like if you're trading this name, all of a sudden it's only 10 cents. If you're trading AbbVie, you're not worried about 10 cents. But that's kind of the effects it can have, and that's why. Don't make me go on a Chamath thing, but I see open door right here again. There it is with a sell as that keeps going to the downside one more time. So, yeah, nice moves happening. There's Marvell, chip name, making the move as well. But Marvell down 2.5. We talked about that with ASML and Lam and all those guys starting to come through right now. So, yeah, there it is. Thanks, Dan Emmons, as well. Put it there in the chat. Mock imbalance, 92 million buy side. So, for me, that is what we say around here, which, by the way, the wife called. Remember what I told you? Well, I call her every day a couple times, even at work. But the number one texted question I said to everybody was, what's for dinner? And that's exactly what she asked me. What do you want me to get for dinner? I said, grab some of that chuck and we'll make some hamburger. So me and my son will have the burgers, and my wife and daughter are going to have some Portobello Swiss burgers, as they are going the veggie route. But I don't care about the weather, man. If the weather's like this and I can start the barbecue, then we're going to throw down.
What's crazy is the number one for me. I know that's a popular one.
On the belt.
For us, I always let her know which train I made, like what time we're getting in, and so that just so we can plan picking my daughter up from her after school program and that kind of thing. It's like let you know when I'm coming home. It's weird. Like I never really ask like the whole like what are we going to do for dinner unless I have an idea. Like sometimes, the other day we were talking about sushi, and I'm like, "Yo, we're doing sushi tonight."
Right.
100%. It's just like that was like it's happening, and the best part about it is my daughter likes sushi, so it's good. I just punched out of Intel. It was a small buy imbalance on Intel, so I got out of it, and then I just put a trailing stop on Coinbase. I had a trailing stop on Amazon. I like to, if it's in the money.
I got out.
Then the way I like to do it, I had gotten out at that level sort of already. Like I had taken a fill off that support level, so it was like if it drops to VWAP, great. But I'll put a trailing stop on it for the imbalances and essentially get the same price as before and give it a chance to run. Now, Coinbase is going to continue to go, so that's still weak. And someone was saying in the chat that it was, and I know it's true, NVIDIA got some upgrades. However, I don't know that explains like upgrades from the pre-market this morning, double upgrades. That's why it bucked the trend late, but it did turn. There was no sell imbalance, so I didn't short 280, but it did give you the 280 short just now. Not a huge win, given the fact what the market just did turning red, but NVIDIA on an absolute tear. Like this stock, it is relentless in terms of the buying. Every time you think it's going to break the trend to the downside, it's right back up at the top in less than a week. And we are, like, if we close at 280, we're right at that 280 resistance. The only time it broke this level and got to 81 was in the pre-market. So you are testing 52-week highs on NVIDIA. It's an absolute monster of a trade, and got to find some ways into the longs. Even if I think some of the other chip names, I'll be looking short if Lam's report is trash. That might not be true of NVIDIA.
All right, yeah, I'm just tweeting out a couple last good trades there to end the day on the short side. And someone said, are we not noticing Tesla tank? Yeah, I'm noticing everything tank. And that's why we literally, you know, I mean, Tesla's down $2 and it's a $200 stock. Coinbase is down, in that same move, Coinbase is down $1.30 and it's a $60 stock. So yeah, we're noticing them and it's a nice move to the downside right there. We end our Coinbase trade with another monster. I mean, this was 25 cents worth of risk and we just banked out $1.50. So that was really done from a risk to reward standpoint. And we never got short Microsoft, but that was that other one there. And actually, I'm actually wrong on this. I thought if the market cranked lower, Microsoft would have really gone, and I guess it did. It touched 288, but some of those stops that we wanted to get short here at 80, just never came in. It got as high as 70 when we were talking to Danielle, but there it is. Now you get the reversal, right? It's 355. So let's look back at this unbalanced locator and see what we're talking about here, because there it is right now. Kind of flipped over, like there's Bed Bath & Beyond. We sort of left that, I know you're on it, but that's another buy right there into the close. Let me just move this over just so we could see. Let me zoom in a little bit so we could see what's happening with the charts on these. So that's Bed Bath & Beyond. What else? Like Apple, remember Apple was a sell? Well, watch this. This should have, see? Like, again, not rocket science, not like, oh my God, we just called that. It flipped over. So there's the move back up to the upside, right? Google flipped as well. So Google's gonna have the same candle. This is the thing, like, again, thank you for watching the show, but I really hope that this is some of the education that if you are a day trader, this is not going to affect many of you trading that are holding overnight or anything like that. But, you know, if you are, here's AAL, if you are in, you know, trading like us, then sometimes 10 cents, 15 cents, you know, we talk about that all the time, can make the difference. So glad that we're able to show that to you, and that's just another example. I don't know, I even hear people behind me saying it flipped and this and that, and that's what we're talking about. It's about looking, taking advantage, ABGB, I don't know why I clicked on that, taking advantage of things in the market, right? AT&T is not going to move on any imbalance either.
What? This is a SPAC.
APG, I don't.
You know how you can tell it's a SPAC?
Because it's about to break 10?
Yeah, look at the chart. Look at the daily chart of APPG. Call it a very educated guess, like the barcoding, and there's like a 200,000 offer at 10.29. I'm just guessing it's SPAC. I have no idea what it is, but I called it up because I had $1 million in balance. But yeah, that looks like a SPAC to me. Let's see if it is. But
I didn't look it up. Yeah,
man, Tesla. Someone just said that this is stink bid 160, 160s, and 165s. And we said this morning. If you are trading aftermarket on earnings, just understand how, like, what liquidity is like, and if your platform. Sometimes the gateways you can use for us are going to be different. Your stop orders will be a little bit different as well. Liquidity is obviously a different story. You saw what happened over there with Netflix. Yes, it would have been successful if you did the stink bid on Netflix. It worked, but we've also seen it be an abject disaster. I saw someone. I was watching live on Qualcomm earnings one time, and what can only be described as somebody getting caught with a keystroke error. Qualcomm had a huge beat, but somebody did something wrong and was trying to cover way too many shares into the up move, and it tanked the stock in the aftermarket because they must have fat fingered it. So be very careful. Yeah, there's support in the 165 range. I'd just be very cautious trading anything in the aftermarket. That's all.
Yep, we've talked about that a couple times on the show. I agree completely about that. So yeah, we got Kat. I messaged her. She's here. She's ready to ring the bell in just 2 minutes to close out the day. So let's just go quickly over to Tesla. And I just tweeted out, you know, we end our day there with a couple nice shorts. How's everybody else's day going? We just bounced off right there off of 180. And here's that move that you're talking about. It's a straight fire move back down, pretty much creating, and I didn't see Tesla on here. I could sort it, but at this point, it's not going to matter. It's going to be, you know, sub 200,000 shares, so not a big deal. But there it is, like, you know, giving a lot of what just happened in the afternoon, pretty much all of it back. What am I talking about? We're right back to 1030 levels. So no FOMO if you missed that run up, because you could just buy it again right now. As Sharif has told us that the anticipated earnings release, remember, it's Elon Musk, wouldn't surprise me. Like, first of all, why did Elon do it on 419? when he could have released them on 420. That's one day
terrible.
away. I'm a little bit surprised that wound up happening, and I don't know if he has actually control over that or not. Just thought that would have been fun to just delay it one day, just especially because of Joe Rogan experience and all that stuff that he's been doing. Just overall, really super funny with trolls and everything like that.
Free advertising.
Exactly, and there it comes right back into the, I don't know if he needs that anymore. It's funny because we used to, the API for Twitter we used to be connected to, now there's a fee for that. So I feel like he's gonna be IPOing Twitter at some point once these revenues get all figured out. But into the close right now, that's what Tesla looks like. We have Miss Ola here, so just really quickly.
Hola.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
All right, so there it is right there. Make sure you do hit that like and the subscribe because she's coming with some heat right now in only 30 seconds.
Yes, sir. And yeah, look, it's been an absolute fun show. It's been an absolute blast. NVIDIA is still pulling back, and what a strong move that was. Pretty much everything giving it up at the close, unless you can pick and choose one of the airlines. So a good look for everyone shouting out the airlines. We didn't really look at them today, but you want to find something in terms of a kernel of strength, but the countdown is on. And get the camera off me. Come on, get the camera off us. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and
there we go.
Again.
We also have to not stand directly behind. There we go, behind the bell. But that's a good one. Thanks, Miss Cat. I thought Randy. Where's Randy?
Randy broke it, and now he
Where's
didn't fix
Bo
it.
Bandy at? Because
he could have at least glued it together.
I thought he could glue it. You know, get a little screw in there.
Yeah, some handyman he is, eh?
Get that all fixed. Thank you, Miss Cat, for that.
Oh my goodness.
Cat for that. But yeah, there it is right now. We are going to wait.
That's not Katrine's fault. That's Randy's fault.
No, pretty much everything on that is Randy's fault. Nothing is Katrine's fault. Let's go over to the big desk and find out how we wound up before we get Tesla, because if we get that, then it's going to be a scream fest around here.
Yes.
Yet another inside day. S&P down 0.02. The NASDAQ down 0.05. The Dow is the only one that really moved here, down 0.41. Brazil ends up red. Toronto flat as well. Crude, we talked about this one, down 2.1. Bitcoin and Ethereum both taking on chin. Bitcoin almost down 4%. Ethereum down 5 1/3. Guys, we have Tesla slated for 405, and if history is any indication, they'll be on time. So I don't know if you guys want to stay on though. Then I'm down.
Yeah.
The other day you're like, let's get out of here.
Nah, we're not going to stay on. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be coming out at 405 or not. So I think we should wait just let you guys go. I don't know. You want to stay on for it? I mean, we can shoot the shit for 3 minutes.
No, but it already flushed $3. So.
Yesterday, Netflix went up $3 before quadunking there, Sharif.
It quadunked.
On that one. We could stay here. I mean, we can
Tesla?
we can watch out to see if Tesla. Okay, fine.
Is anything else going to actually report in the next 3 or 4 minutes? I'm curious if like Lamb comes out. I want to watch that one as well. But there wasn't that much on the board. Somebody's fat fingering, or there's something happening on Tesla. Like it went $1 to the upside. We've seen this before, like people that punch into the move before there's the move. That is a dangerous, dangerous game when nothing is out yet. And there is nothing out, even though it's kind of moving.
It's trying to go back
It's trying to go,
upside
but it's not
right now.
out yet. We're not out. That's the thing.
I have, you know what, it's a good thing that my dentist is a block away because I have a dentist appointment at 4:10.
Well, it's gymnastics, so I got to catch my train.
Yeah, we have Yeah, what day is it today? Wednesday. We have karate today.
Ours switched to Wednesday.
Yeah, we have karate today and dance. So my son has karate, my daughter has dance, but my wife will be taking both of them. As we're waiting for this, it's 402.50 right now. Tesla making a move. Look at this, guys. Nice move back, man. It's making that move. We don't see anything out yet, but there's Tesla making a strong move back. Volume not stopping, 105 million shares today. Big volume candle at the end of the day. But here's the move back up. Nothing's out yet, unless this is just Elon buying some shares up before the number. Of course, he's not doing that. But let's just wait to see. Nice move here. If we get it, we will wait till 405. But if it doesn't come out at 405, then it will be like at least 410. And then for some reason, like, why won't it be 420? We talked about.
If I was him, I would have done it at 420 on 420, and there's no question about
Tesla's
it.
ripping.
Now it's ripping. Now it's
right
going.
now. So there it is, right back to the high of the day, looking to take out the high of the day before dropping back to 180. So remember I said that you'd have to be a little bit cuckoo to trade this.
This is
I mean, the
ridiculous.
number's not even.
That
like
was
that
a
one,
shot
Dave?
at me. That
like-
was a
oh.
shot.
Oh, no.
Wow.
That's,
Look
now
at the
it's down
level.
to
Look at
There
the
we
level
go.
two. This is
There we
ridiculous. Now it's 178.
It's
out.
out.
We're out.
It's
There it
out.
is, there it
Here we
is.
go. EPS 0.85 in line
Down.
with sales.
Now back up.
23.3
This is where we're
billion
trading.
beat. They beat 23.29 estimate. There we go.
Now it's quadunking up.
now it's. So remember what like this is sort of what I meant.
Here it comes right back up.
Go to the chart. Go to the chart, guys. This is what I was talking about trading this. It's like if you punch that short there, sure, it went all the way down. Did you hold it? Did you get out? It just went $3 against you. You know, it's back and forth right here. I don't even see the numbers yet. Do you want to go over those again?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, come to my screen, guys. Look at this.
Slight miss on
Here we go. Continuing to
Slight
execute our
miss on
product on a roadmap. Q1 profitability
the
was
margins
positively
aren't out
impacted by growth
Everyone cared about
vehicle
the margin.
deliveries. Okay. The numbers are simple, though, guys. EPS
There it
0.85
is right
in
there.
line.
you see my
Sales 23.33, which is a beat over 23.29.
Lower
That's what I'm
credit
seeing. Those are the
revenues.
two main lines. That's the top line right there.
No
I'll keep going
margins.
over the margins. 11.4 Q1 operating margin. 11.4.
Doesn't seem very good. What about-
All right,
that's
we'll
a good
we'll
one.
go through
That's
some of
way
these.
under 20.
Yeah, but it's not the operating.
It's not. That's not the one.
I want to know the per vehicle margin on the model.
Yeah, there's a
three or
whole
something.
bunch here still.
Yeah, okay. As it comes through, man, we're gonna have to wait for that. But there it is. Welcome to the jungle once again, man. 178 and change. Tesla kind of
Wow.
just floating around. I mean, we opened the day at 178. We're at 178 right now. So
And the high is exact same.
You know, I don't think we're going to get that 20% move or anything like that, but there it is now back up through 180 again. So, all right, good job there. Thank you for making us stay there, Sharif. I think that was well worth it. You are a man of the people for sure. So thank you to everybody for watching. Big afternoon show, big midday show, big morning show, and it's going to happen again tomorrow as these earnings come flying in now moving forward over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. It's going to be a fun one. Thanks, Mahad. Thanks, Fahad. Neil, obviously, great job. Thanks to Sharif, Obi, Max, everybody, Bears versus Bulls. Thank you to our guest today, Danielle Shea, for coming through. And what a good show.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
No one ever thanks you, Sean. Thank you, Sean.
Yes, well, thank you, Neil, for that as
But
well.
it's true. It's weird. Like,
Yeah, but it's because I always do the close.
I
mean,
know.
I want to say, and thank you to all the viewers. I mean, that's,
thank you guys.
that's one of the most important things. Like
Lamb's
everything.
not good.
So,
Wow,
all right,
Tesla 176,
there we go. Yeah,
my
Tesla
goodness.
177, trying to get to 176, and they're quadunking down. All right, I got to go get these guys looked at here. Get this grill. There's Brad talking about 177, bouncing around. We will see everybody tomorrow. Sleep well if you're short Tesla.